Um, yeah. It's been a while or a week. So, welcome to any early risers in terms of the stream. Some of you may recognize this game, perhaps. Let's actually fix this because it looks a little bit weird. That's better, probably. That's still not good. So for some reason the overlay's a little bit weird. So today I figured that maybe a good line to go down would be just directly hopping into the final game of the Grand Prix Finale, I guess. I think every single game has been played because today 2 best of series were played, but they both ended decisively in 2-0. Tomorrow was sort of the last day for it, planned for any residual games, but that wasn't the case. And I think, yeah. So, yeah, this game is from the finals. A lot of you will probably recognize it because it, happens to be played like a few minutes ago, I suppose. Oh wait, I should put up a message. Live now. Reviewing finals games between. So yeah, I haven't paid too much close attention to these games actually. This one ended early, I guess. So it just seems that Black made enough points, okay. And I was only watching like not so closely, so I thought Black was better at some point. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, Dusty Badok, hello, first chatter of the stream. Oh, we have a bit.
Hello.
Thank you, Ascortokinius22. Welcome. That's a good way to start a stream. So yeah, this game, I want to say, okay, I have to confess, I was probably rooting for Artem here for a couple of reasons. First of all, he beat me, so I like it when people that beat me win because they look better. Which means I look better. The other reason is that Ilya wins every tournament. Like, when Ilya doesn't win a tournament in Europe, the known universe collapses. So that would be kind of fun. Oh, hello, Guillaume Weichi. So yeah, I would have preferred Artem to do a bit better, but Ilya does well, generally speaking. Let's see what happened. So collapse of the universe is fun. Yeah. I mean, collapse of the universe where Ilya wins everything. Yeah, that would be quite fun if that happened. Like both in the semifinals and the quarterfinals, Ilya lost a game, and I was like, please, but they didn't make it. So, salut dacat. Ah, hello, evil cat. Oh, hello, Pangolier Fluffy Cat. There's lots of cats in the chat. Half point Andy, yeah. We might get to that game later. So for those of you who don't know, I mean, I did play the tournament. I did get into the knockout stage. And I was playing the game for 5th or 6th place this morning, and I lost by half a point. It was an okay game. I screwed up some coast stuff, I suppose. I thought I was better at some point, but it happens. We might review that one later. If I don't spend 3 hours on this game, which I sometimes tend to do when I review. So okay. Yeah, I'll have to say I kind of like this framework for white. So, for reference, I'll give you an example. In my own game against Lucas Podpera, just this morning, we kind of had this framework. And then white Tanuki'd, and then I played here. And I was kind of happy to do this because as white, I kind of like having a stone here. because it works well with like both the top left and the lower right. So I have to say I kind of like Ilya's structure, but you know, it's not a big deal. So I actually wonder how many people who are watching are just off of like the EGF stream or something like that. Or just off of like watching this game on OGS. I prefer black here. Asker Tokinias, you prefer black. Huh. I don't know. I'm not so sure I prefer black. I certainly am. Oh, hello, Mpin-chen. So, I mean, I guess some rather territorially minded people would like that black just got 3 corners, but I don't know. I mean, it's a matter of preference for sure. Yeah, this is very yeah. So whenever you see higher level players, they peep. It always becomes a discussion about that like white doesn't want to connect and black wants to make white connect. Of course, white doesn't connect. And this move sort of makes sense because even though the cut looks scary, it actually doesn't, because usually you have, you know, say black tries to do this. It's a little bit complicated, but the theory is that, you know, of course, if black just answers, then you can connect or something. If black doesn't answer, you have this resource in the corner which will let you fight, and, you know, this is a mess, but in theory you can do it and it's fine. I mean, white is ahead because white. I disagree, because this game is played on 6.5 Komi. Like, if Komi is 6.5, I think black is slightly preferred by computers. Is it not the case? So white is not ahead. It's okay, this long extension, and black enters the corner. 6.5 Japanese, yes. I mean, 6.5 Chinese doesn't make sense. Like, 6.5 Chinese doesn't matter unless there's a Seki. It's the same as 7.5, I think. So, yeah, they chose this Joseki. 6.5 on Chinese is good for black. 6.5 on Chinese is... Oh, wait, it's not the same. Never mind. It's not the same. So, on Chinese rules, if you change the Komi... if you change the Komi to 8.5, it shouldn't matter. Because it's area scoring, so there's some weird shenanigans with that. Okay. This one, I believe it's not considered good for black anymore. Like, if you ask a computer, the computer will say that black's not doing well. And if you were to explain this from a shape perspective, it's because, you know, we don't like giving ponukis, I suppose. So something I've seen a little bit more in modern times is that black actually connects. But, I mean, if black had a stone at C12, it would be fine to connect. It's not fine to connect on the empty board. I actually wonder, this might be playable according to a computer, even in this case, and the idea is, okay, say that white cuts, which is, like, the obvious thing. Then at least this stone isn't, like, ridiculously useful. So maybe it's better than on the empty board, and this is acceptable. I saw this Joseki in one of the quarterfinals games between Lukas Podpera and Pavel Lisi, and there was actually a really funny game, funny move here. Like, it was like this. Okay, let's pretend it's black's turn. So black already had a move here, and black played here. So instead of, you know, natural move would be here, you connect with the wall, you play h16, everything is good. But black was like, mine. And the funny thing is that later it was something like, later it was something like this. So it wasn't his. It wasn't his. I think 6.5 Japanese is closer to 7.5 Chinese, but it's still a bit better for white. I disagree. 7.5, like, the scoring method only matters if there's a Seki or something. Like, I don't care what the AI thinks in this case, if that's objective. But, you know, it's interesting how the AI will evaluate different things, because sometimes it's wrong, I think, when it does, like, territory scoring relative to Komi. Or at least that's my impression, that it doesn't quite understand it in the same way we do. Like, you'd imagine if Komi is one more, the computer thinks one side is 1 point better, but it's not always the case. Hey, Mr. Cat, how come you're not playing in the finals? Well, you know, like, well, you know, however well I played, sometimes my opponents play better, as long as they're not Ben Zero. Yeah, okay, if White's pincer is one line further, there are some cool Tessujis. There's some cool Tessujis. I vaguely remember a lecture on it by Samsan. Oh. Samsam, if you don't know who that is, he's Kim Young-sam. He's highest rated player in Europe, I guess. So if White's pincer is one stone further, I wonder, actually. I quite wonder. So I can share some analysis I have from games of my own. So I've had this position as black, and in my game I played this. And the idea behind this move is that, okay, if White plays here, then just better shape, right? And the other half of it is that if White plays here, then, like, I've shown this on stream before, but this enters, like, some really weird, complicated fight, which is a mess. But I don't know anything else, actually. You have to make an exchange before, if I remember correctly. Huh. Okay, I have no clue then. Mpin-chen, thank you for following. Welcome, you were in chat earlier. I hope you'll beat Artem one day, however well he plays. Yeah, my scores against some of the European professionals isn't very good. So I'm 0-4 against both Artem and Ilya. So these guys are better than me, for the moment. My score against some of the other guys isn't so bad. I've like a couple of wins against, like, I have a win against Andriy, which I got a few days ago, and a win against Tongi. But yeah, my score against pros is like 2-13, something like that. Some attached to the pincer stone to threaten a squeeze. So like this to like threaten this. I don't know, I'm too old for this. Also this doesn't look good. But I mean, okay, maybe this, and this kind of thing. But anyway. So Ilya chooses to play from b15. And actually, I understand it if the pincer stone is so close. The idea is, okay, you can capture one stone and get some extra points. But in Go, to get stuff, you usually need to give stuff. Not this terrible variation, this one. So, in capturing the stone, you give black extra stones on the outside, which is nice for black, and maybe next black would play this move, and you know. So Ilya's move is sort of emphasizing group strength. I play this one so that your group here is weaker. Now, I don't know if it's good, but that's why he's doing it. And Ilya, that's really kind of how Ilya plays. Ilya doesn't speak in territory, he speaks in pressure. My record against pros is 0% win rate, and they were all simul games. Oof. Yeah. But okay. So black plays f15. f15, I mean, here we can see sort of the type of maybe advantage that you're getting out of playing b15 for white, is that usually black would play some pincer, but for some reason black's reluctant to. Now, I don't know if black should be reluctant to. In my opinion, black would be fine just playing here. I don't see the problem. Actually, I might even more fine playing this one. Goes hard. If only tournament games count, then I have never played a pro, but I got rolled by Andriy on 3 handicap stones a couple of times in practice. Oh, wait. 3 stones? 3 is a lot of stones. I don't know, like, you're not that bad. But anyway, And knowing Ilya, will he even run the stone? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't think he's, like, crazy, I guess. You could also play this one, because it's efficient shape-wise. And you're thinking of, like, if this happens, you can like Atari or something. I mean, black won't do this probably, but actually it's an annoying move. I don't know. What did Ilya play? Okay, k16, with the idea that if something like this, which is what Artem played... I was gonna say this move is slow, so I wouldn't do it, but okay, that's what Artem played. Probably this, or Tanuki. Wait. Huh. I'd be tempted to play closer because it's annoying for black. But maybe it's not that annoying. Maybe you just capture and say whatever. And if white plays here, you play here, and white will sort of regret his shape. Maybe, I don't know. Strong 2-dan at the time, and he is like 7-dan, so I guess it's pretty fair handicap. Well, 3 handicap. Actually, if you put it that way, 3 handicap is too little. But handicap, I don't know. Like if I play. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, because the last time I played handicap in a tournament game was during the Go-To Innovation tournament, and I was like a strong 5-dan, I suppose, or like I guess a strong 5-dan, and I got paired with a weaker 3-dan, and because of the weird rules involving the Go-To Innovation tournament, I was giving him, was it 4 or 5 handicap? It was an obscene amount of handicap. No, it was 5 stones. It was 5 stones. So I played someone with like, maybe 280 point rating difference on 5 stones, and I actually won. Which was weird. But point being that for the most part, if I play a 2-dan with 3 stones, it's kind of tough because the 2-dan is like good at being passive. Like they know how to be passive, I suppose. They know how to not lose. And on 3 stones, that's kind of tough. I have another story about this. In that same Go-To Innovation tournament, I, strongish 5-dan, I played an 8-dan rated player. Kim Seung-jin is one of the stronger players who plays in Europe. So he must have a rating of about 2,800. So he had, 300 more rating points than me. We played on 4 stones, and like I literally did this. So you start the game on like this, and like my first 4 moves were this and this, this and this, like senta kicks, this and this, this and this, or something like that, and I won by 20 points. And he was like, all game I was playing the most passive, boring move possible, and he was just looking at me like almost disappointed. Because I never let him do anything. I mean, 4 stones is too much. I'd say he's probably the strongest player in Europe. Yeah, I agree. Seung-jin is strong. Okay, so we play N16. I would have been tempted to play high. Like, the top side isn't very big at this point, right? Because there's already so many stones on it, it's like you want to get out of there as soon as possible, which is why my first feeling is actually shoulder hit. And or high extension. Because, okay, I mean, I can accept that I don't want to get pincered with my stone, fine. But then I'd add different moves than what Ilya did. I mean, his move's fine. L17? L17? Wow. Huh. I'm starting to be not surprised that Artem lost. What's up with this move? So, okay, I've my objections to this move, like a lot of them. Huh. Very strange move. I mean, like I said, this side of the board is just not big. Just play something reasonable, like a corner enclosure. He's not strong, he's just better at counting. He said top amateurs can't count properly. I mean, being good at counting and accurately playing out like an end game or the end of the game as a function of how you're doing is kind of a skill, So he's better, I guess. I think the record between him and Samsam is pretty even, but Samsam said that Seung-jin was a bit better in Korea when they were both insane. I mean, my personal opinion of Youngsam's play is that it's very hard to evaluate it. Like, for those of you who don't know, or who aren't, like, really up to date with European Go, Kim Youngsam currently has a rating of 2830 or something crazy like that. And he has, he used to go to tournaments, of course, before Corona time, and he used to do very well. Top rated player in Europe. And my impression from watching him play is that he's gotten so many bad habits from Europe. Like, we're bad players, so he gets lots of bad habits from us, comparatively. Like, we're bad players, comparatively speaking. So I see so many bad habits in his play, and then he wins anyway. So it's very hard to evaluate how strong he is. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Youngsam's play, I'm not kidding. About 8 games out of 10 that I watch from him, he's objectively behind at move 100. But his win rate is like 90%, even against the strongest players in Europe. And he's not a little bit behind. Sometimes he's objectively badly behind, you know? Well, he literally trashed a top amateur game. Why would you do that? You're ahead. I mean, I don't know the context. Also, which one of the Kims are we talking about there? I don't know. So my impression comparatively of Seongjin is that Seongjin doesn't play that many tournaments, and therefore his Go is a little bit less tainted by bad habits. But he also has less tournament practice. So, I don't know. Tournament experience is kind of important. And being in shape, I suppose, so. If they knew how to count, they could beat me. Oh. Random game in a cup, okay. Seongjin's reading is super insane, though. I mean, both of their reading is pretty insane. They just have a better shape sense. They've played more games than we have. Speaking of shape sense, what is L17? Can someone explain to me what L17 is? Because I'm like, I don't know. So I'll explain why I think this move has to be terrible. Or first of all, let's watch what happens. Okay. Yeah. And Tenuki, yes. Ilya's a good player. Tenuki is correct. So oh wait, that's okay. So yeah, this is the sense I get from L17. Artem is cosplaying that he's attacking this group, right? He's cosplaying that he's attacking the group, so he takes its base, right? So like Ascor Tokinius is saying in the chat, White has a weak group, so let's take its base. Now, 2 issues with that. Number 1, when you're attacking, it's kind of nice to do stuff that's good. Like, I want to attack in ways that make me points while I'm attacking. Right? Does that make sense? I agree that it looks bad. It looks terrible. It goes against, like, most Go principles to do this. To, like, live on the 3rd line at move 35, it's very, very strange. And the second thing that is weird about it is that, okay, you're playing on a small side, you're making the group weak, okay. Now, tell me exactly how you're gonna attack this group. Don't think of it as a group so much as a wall, right? Like, this is a wall. How do you even approach this? It's very hard. And you've played, like, slowly on the top side. Very suspicious. I mean, even later, this is gonna happen to you. White's gonna play here, and White's gonna attach here, and Black's shape is gonna cry. So, I don't really like what Black did here. Michaels, thank you for following. I mean, okay, so I want to say, a few days ago, I played a series against Artem, and he just beat me 2-0. And one thing I observed is that his playstyle has been changing. In my games, I was surprised at how aggressively he played. And I'm gonna, Artem would usually be considered a rather solid player that isn't so aggressive. But in both of my games, he was actually more aggressive than I was. Significantly. And he was, starting all the fights and trying to take the initiative. I don't know if he's trying to play differently and it backfires occasionally. I don't know if this is, he's trying to out-aggress Ilya and regretting it. He should be regretting it. I don't know. This is very strange from Black, because I don't think that this is the type of thing that you do to really attack a group. I would say that probably M15 looks better than L17. But probably neither one is best. M15, I mean, M15 is annoying. At least it's annoying. Because, you know, white doesn't want to add another move on the top side. Like, you know, white does this. Black can sort of claim it's a good exchange because of how small the top side is already. So, I mean, you could do M15. I probably wouldn't. Because I want to be able to, like, slide here later. By the way, if you want to attack this group, you slide. I think. And the reason you slide is that it's not contact. When stones come in contact, they all get stronger. So if you're trying to attack the group, don't do this. I mean, this is just a wall. You're not going to attack this. Very unlikely. And, you know, Artem's a better player than me, but this is very, very strange. Very, very strange. M15 is the type of move that AI would play locally, I think. Yeah, AI would definitely play M15 if it had to play locally. With that said, I don't think playing locally is good. So... Okay, so Ilya Tanukis, I think that this is the correct punishment. And, okay, Artem does nothing for now. So, I mean, it's very difficult to even find the move to attack this. You know, it's very strange to play such a slow move and then leave it as, oh, I'll attack you later, I suppose. Yeah, and to illustrate my point, black shape on the top side is really not that good. Like, how does black answer this attachment? How? I don't know if Ilya tried this later, but I don't see... Like, okay, white doesn't have to do it immediately, but to illustrate my point, so say you play here, okay, your shape's destroyed. So, say you block. Then black can probably start... white can probably start by playing here, and then this, and then you already have a couple more center moves. I mean, attacking this wall, very questionable. And just saying white has this type of agi in the position as well. The white, you know, later in the game, white might actually choose to attach here in order to establish a group on the right side. So I'm not saying white has to use this immediately. I'm saying that black's shape is far from rock solid. It's better to leave to keep both options on the table, I guess. Yes, I agree. Now, you know, AI to a certain extent likes making you decide things early in the game. So, you know, AI might enjoy making this exchange and saying, oh, I'm certain that this exchange will be good. Whereas I'm not sure if I want to do anything later on the top side. So I might as well just get this exchange out of the way. That might be the AI's, like, language, as it were. Why does white play P3 instead of R5 or Q4? Yeah, I wasn't going to comment on it because it's such a small detail. But P3 is a weird move, I agree. So, you know, if you think about which side is bigger, you'd usually play R5, or yeah, just... A Q4 is okay here as well, I guess. My instinct here would certainly be a Q6 or R6. And the reason is that if black answers this way, the side is kind of small. Now, if I had to guess as to Ilya's reasoning... is that, okay, yeah, even though, as you say, that the lower side is undercut, I think the reasoning is that Ilya is looking at the possibility of getting cut here later, and Ilya generally pays quite a lot of attention to group strength, so from his perspective, he might just be strengthening his group like this. If white wants to play on the bottom side, I would just play a 3-space high approach. Skip the direct approach because black runs to the bigger side. Yeah, actually, I kind of agree with this. And the reason I agree with this is that the only reason you would want to play on the lower side rather than on the right side is that you, for some reason, want to help out these 3 stones. And then a move like this coordinates much more effectively, I would say, than this one. I probably agree with that, a way to play. In any case, I wouldn't play on the lower side. But still, it's a small detail. Like, P3 is a much better move than whatever black did up here. So... Okay, Q5. Yeah, and I think Ilya's logic here is sort of solid. Like, he wants to help H3, whatever. Not the best way to do it, I think. Okay, so, keep in mind how much Artem is attacking these stones. Actually, I'm gonna try to keep this in mind throughout the review. You know, Artem did eventually lose this game, so I think it will be funny to see how much this group gets attacked. Because if it doesn't get attacked at all, that's why black lost. And it shouldn't get attacked, so... Huh, this attachment. I can sense some fighting. Yeah, I can sense some fighting, because black isn't just gonna answer here and let white do this, I'd say. So, you know, when white plays here, you're sort of expecting black to turn this way and fight it. Does white actually... Oh, white Hannes. Okay. I like the attachment. I probably like the attachment as well. Yeah. You know, this is the kind of situation where, as white, I wouldn't be quite sure where to go next. And perhaps my conclusion would be... It's hard. It's hard to find a move. I think... what do you even play? I think I might play this one. Because I want to point at this Aji. So, like, now black has a problem at r5. Or, you know, I want to play here and pressure the black stones a little bit. And I'd be a little bit at a loss as to what to do on this board, just because black's kind of strong towards the top side, so it's hard to build on the left. Like, you have a Moyo structure, but you have no way to develop it. I kind of want to play on the lower side, but I also don't want to hurt the top side group too much. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm... Also, you know, so... Actually, Ascor Tokinius asked, okay, R10, right? Like, do you like R10? I don't like R10. And the reason I don't like R10 is that it leaves this problem. So as white, even though I'm not sure if it's good to use this problem right now, I might do it anyway. I might. And maybe Ilya's way is a better way of using it. Q6 is actually hard to answer, so it's a very interesting move. Maybe Q8 instead. Yeah, I like Q8. There's a couple of reasons I like Q8 more. One of them is that the way that black has played so far, you eventually want to put pressure on N16. And if you're playing this move, you're not putting pressure on N16. Another candidate move I have for white is actually like P10 or something. So, in my mind, black has to play a little bit higher if he ever wants to make sense of the monstrosity he performed on the top side. So, yeah, white spent a slow move on the lower side, so now he wants to get the most of it. Yeah, and certainly that's the idea behind either the attachment or R7. You want to use the stone at P3 and the Aji it creates. You've not seen the game before. I watched the end of it, but I didn't watch that closely at all. I had other stuff to do, I guess. I was crying because, you know, I was in my room crying because of the loss, I suppose. The half-point loss. Katako advised to play Q16 attachment. I think you mean Q17, right? Do you mean Q17? Like, the attachment I want to play is Q17. But Q16 is really interesting, if that's your suggestion. If Michael... Like, you know, Q16 is really interesting because I guess your next move is here. And white's whole argument is look at how over-concentrated black's shape is. So actually, that's a very interesting idea. Like, this kind of stone efficiency or shape efficiency idea that sometimes comes out of AI is kind of interesting. How it, like, understands stones working together kind of well, relative to us at least. I'm gonna open a bottle of wine. Good choice. Wine's nice. Wine's pretty good. So, not that I've tried any. So yeah, something like Q16 is interesting. One reason I don't like Q16, and this is my problem. This is like my problem as a Go player, right? I don't like giving up options. Like, I'm sort of infatuated with the idea of doing this, and this later in the game, and using the Aji this way. And, you know, using the Aji this way has a big opportunity cost. If I, you know, later in the game, white may want to play this way and establish a presence on the top side, which is good for endgame. If you play my way, then eventually black's gonna play here and make more points than he otherwise would. Additionally, you lose the opportunity to attach it at r15. So actually, q17 is like such a niche sente move that you wouldn't usually play. But my weakness as a player, or one of my weaknesses as a player, is that I kind of like these details. Like, I like getting a little bit extra sometimes, or I like keeping the option to do that. And sometimes that leads me to forget the whole board context, or even the local context, because I like this kind of detail. So, yeah. So maybe, q16 makes more sense, because this kind of sente move you get is much, much, much more helpful in the sense that you don't give up m18 as a stone for black, so black doesn't get a follow-up later. And, that's a weakness a lot of people have. When they cut here, they don't think of the repercussions of cutting here, such as that they give black better endgame on the top side. Too many sumegos you did. I mean, I'm not talking sumegos here, I'm talking sense, I suppose. Or I'm trying. So, incidentally, if white does play here, I don't think black will stand for this. Like, black will play here. Black's not going to play s16. s16 is like tantamount to spiritual resignation. So, you're probably going to do this, and then, white... This is an interesting position, because if white plays here and we capture, and white sort of tries to take over the corner, then black may have some crazy attacking ideas. Or, we might Atari first, if we can find a threat. Because actually, if we can't find a threat, that isn't fun. And connecting is sort of unbearable from a shape perspective. Endgame Tessujis are not Sumegos. Oh, you mean that. Oh, okay. I mean, that's not really an endgame Tessuji, that's just shape, I think. Like, so much as Sumego, this is game experience. Like, you see this and you're like, oh, this knows Tessuji exists, kind of thing. That one's experience more than Sumego. Oh, hello, Ginkgo. Welcome. Oh, wait. So, in any case, so white q6. Oh, we have a comment. I think your sequence, in your sequence, white never has the right timing because black can give up the corner until pretty late in the endgame. Well, black can give up the corner, but is it good for black to give up the corner? I don't know. Like, does white mind this? I think white's okay. Because black can never connect. Or, like, he can, but that's admitting that your shape is inefficient. And, if you start a KO... Oh, q17. Oh, you mean q... Yeah, okay. So this one I like for white. q17 with your suggestion. Yeah, white rarely has the timing. So I agree that q17 is such a, like, niche thing that you're never going to use. So q17 is like, if you really, for some emergency reason, need these two stones, like O and p16, you'll do it. Usually, you won't do it. So, that I totally agree with that. It's a very, very, very niche case, and usually it's not going to be good. I don't know why I like it so much, actually. Oh, wait, let's go back up. Okay. So let's look at this q6. So q6 comes with the idea that if black plays here, do we trade? I don't know if we trade. I don't think we trade. Ilya didn't trade. And I think it's correct to not trade here. Because black's corner isn't dead yet. Like, this looks like white owns the corner, but he doesn't. Like, later in the game, black's gonna play here, probably, and white's not gonna be happy. So, killing this corner, I mean, technically it's dead, right? Technically it's dead. So you're gonna go here and, like, here or something, and in the most technical of senses, you killed. But this kind of aji is always very annoying when you're killing a corner. Like, it's very, very annoying when it can just start reviving and trying to live. So, I'm gonna say that you're not killing without aji, and giving up Honuki on the outside isn't good. So even though at first glance it looks nice, I don't think it looks nice. q17 is you flexing, correct. Yeah, I suppose so. Sumego always refers to life and death problems, I believe. Yeah, it actually does. It actually does. I don't know what refers to endgame problems, though. But Sumego refers to life and death, specifically, as I understand it. Yeah, so white goes out, and then, black has several problems, because if we connect or something, then, white's doing good on the right side. And if black does something like take, then you're giving up something on the outside as well, so this, and this. And then white has some really interesting choices here. I like what Ilya's doing here. Pressing black into the right side to get something interesting. Let's see. Yose. Hello, Yuffington. I think Yose, I'm not sure if Yose, you can say Yose problems, because as far as I know it, Yose refers to the very, very late stages of endgame. Or more to the moves themselves rather than the stage of the game. So, I'm not sure if, maybe you can, but I'm not sure. Korean, European players beat Ilya in tournaments. Well, yes. So, I mean, I'd say Ilya is maybe the most consistent challenger to players, like to the top Korean players that live in Europe. But generally, he'll still lose. Q4 now. Yeah, Q4 looks like the move, Michael Z. So, the thing with something like Q4, Q4 has its problems, but I think, black is never going to connect, because then white gets too much on the outside, I'd say. Or it does look like that. Wait, how does white do this, actually? This exchange doesn't actually fix that much. I guess you can play here, and following this, and this, you can... Yeah, you can get a decent position like this. A good squeeze. Yeah, I think that can be done. And, if this way, then white just squeezes you harder, I guess. So this isn't fun for black. I wonder why Ilya didn't Atari. Was he scared that black fights it? Or, black fights it, by tanuking or something. I don't know. Because Ilya didn't Atari here, which surprises me. I think in long time settings it can be 50-50. Maybe, yeah. I think certain... the Korean players are particularly good in Byoyomi relative to European players. I'd say, someone like Kim Young-sam is, not doing well in the first half of the game, and then he just rolls over everyone as soon as they hit Byoyomi. So, I would say that... So, I'd say that in really slow time settings, for example, if you put Kim Young-sam into the European Championship, I don't think he'd win it. He might be the most likely to win it out of all the players, but I don't think his chances would be above 50%. Let's put it that way. Apparently, Sume means abbreviated or compressed in this case. So Sumego is compressed go. Oh, apparently Sensei's library says it refers to more than life and death. Okay. Lol, no. Oh. That's pretty concise. Yeah, I don't know. You guys figure out the etymology stuff. Sume also means to corner someone. Wow. Okay. So Ilya just plays 08. Huh. I don't know. I don't see what's wrong with P4. P4 really puts black on the spot, because black has to fight the Ko, and maybe if we fight it this way, I don't even see black's threat. I mean, it's such a big Ko. Okay, let's imagine you got the Ko. Imagine you actually were able to play this, and then, play here. And then white's forced to take, and then black connects. And then, here I agree that the Ko wasn't good for white. And the reason it wasn't good for white is that, remember how in all of those variations we looked at before, white was playing here, and when black Ataris, right? White's actually not answering the Atari. White's sacrificing. So, in that case, okay, Q4 for R5 is a good exchange, but it's not like, it's not as good as this is for black, like 2 for 7. On the other hand, something you could as well do as white is just sacrifice directly. I mean, let's imagine black plays this, and you play this, or you play this, and you play this kind of sequence, then the exchange of, like, this exchange is almost neutral. It almost doesn't matter. So, it's arguable that it just doesn't matter whether you play q4 or not. So maybe white didn't want to risk black playing the ko. Okay, I understand that. Now, what the hell is the idea behind p8? Because my instinct is definitely to sack the stone. Like, you do this, then black does this, and you just, you know, play on the outside. You're like, whatever. I can hand, like, I'm getting more on the outside than you are. That's my opinion, that this would be okay. Now, okay, let's look at Ilya's move, because I don't know if it's worse, it's just interesting, I suppose. So therefore in shogi, when you have to corner the king, problems relating to the final moves are sume shogi. The word sumego was derived from sume shogi. Wow. Well, then it's not life and death, I suppose. It sounds like it's not life and death, it's just problems. Can't the Q6 stones be cut in your variation? The Q6 stones? What do you mean to be cut? I'm not sure what you mean. It is life and death. Oh, okay. I'm confused now. Well, thanks for the info, Ginkgo. Finish 8 done. Oh, hello, Jeff. He wants black to run. Yeah, I mean, you can say that this is like some Machiavellian, like almost Machiavellian Ilya plan, where he likes having weak groups to attack. So, regardless of whether white runs or not, you know, I think white should run like this. I mean, if black didn't, sorry, black should run like this. If black didn't run like this, he'd run by Atari? Or, wait, did he Tanuki? Oh. Wait, what? He gave up the stone. Wait, you have to fight this. You have to run here. It's not even bad to run here, is it? Huh. So, I don't know. I think this might be some kind of, like, I think this might be some sort of dialogue between Ilya and Artem. And Ilya is a little bit of a... he's a little bit of a psychopath in the sense that he likes putting pressure on people regardless of whether it's good. So something that you'll see Ilya doing a lot is, like, he goes for stuff. Like, he keeps accelerating the pace of the game. So, you know, when you do this, and, like, you get some nice outside profit for it, you know, black gets a Ponuki, whatever. It's not the most impressive Ponuki on the planet. And you just get some outside influence for it. This is what I feel like I might want to do. But Ilya's like, this, and then you run and I hunt you down. That's the language that Ilya likes perpetuating. Yeah, at least not his jump. Yeah, his jump is very lukewarm. Artem's jump. I don't know. I don't like it. You're forgetting the K16 stones. You said you wouldn't. Well, I'm not forgetting the K16 stones. The point is, if at some point, like, let me put it this way. If we ever remember the K16 stones, and we're like, oh, those stones were weak, then black's, like, L17 plan will be vindicated. If we forget the M16 stones for the rest of the game, then L17 was a very weird move. Oh, Tongi, hello there. Those are some cool emotes, relevant to the game as well. So, wouldn't N8 be better anyhow? N8. Why would we play N8? I'm confused. I mean, can't P10 instead of O6 be explained in relation to those stones? P10... I mean, I kind of agree, Papasnek. Kind of. But only kind of. And the reason is that, okay, theoretically, I think that's what Artem's thinking, by the way. Like, Artem's thinking, I play p10, and that indirectly attacks the stones. But in my opinion, this is like fake attacking. Like, just because you have a stone at p10 doesn't mean that you know, like, I don't know. I don't think this looks like the right thing for Black to be thinking about when he should just be pulling out this stone. I thought it was an instance where Artem was bloodthirsty about the top. Yeah, it probably is. Like, let's put it this way. Like, humans don't like admitting mistakes. So, you know, Artem understands Go. Like, he knows that this isn't good. So, like, this isn't good in terms of how big it is. So the only way you can sort of justify spending a move here is to attack the stones eventually. So probably we will be able to see in Black's play a degree of consistency towards attacking the stones. Except we won't, okay, but that's Artem's fault, not ours. You would expect to see a degree of consistency towards attacking the stones. I thought, so yeah, I was just pointing out that he was doing what you said he'd be doing during the game. Well, I didn't say he'd be doing that. Like, okay, well, now I did, but the point is, what I said earlier was that, like, okay, Black will be playing towards this, and whether we notice it as severe or not will determine whether L17 is good, right? And Black, maybe he shouldn't, but the human way to play is to sort of justify L17, in a way. So that top sequence on right side, play full territorial mode, was so weird. Yeah, it's very weird from Artem. Is this territorial, really? L17 is like the weirdest way to be territorial ever, because if you want to be territorial, you don't play N17. Like, you play here because you want to make points. L17 doesn't make points, it loses a move. So, what about H2 for white after P10? Oh, yeah, we can discuss that. Okay, never mind, I misread. Oh, we were talking about 08. Okay. So, 08. 08 is a strange move for either player at any point, so I'm not going to address it too much, I guess. Also, never mind, I misread. So, H2 after P10. Well, H2 is a very, I'm going to say, greedy move. Or, like, it's a move that's claiming a lot of things. Like, the only way you play H2 is if you're saying, this is my area, and I don't want you to reduce it. And if that were true, well, then maybe H2 is a good move. Except it's not white's area. This is a running fight, where H2 isn't going to help you. So, I like Ilya's move. Ilya's move would have been my move. So, I would also play N8, because at this point, this stone has sort of been swallowed. Or not sort of been swallowed. It's harder to pull it out. And it's, you know, it's strengthening white in the right direction of play. H2 is like, H2 is what you play when you have this shape on the lower side, sort of. I mean, white wouldn't play this, it's way too slow, but I'm just illustrating a point. This is the type of position where maybe you will play H2. Okay, so this jump, I'm actually having my reservations about it when I'm thinking about the actual sequence, because if Black decides to pull out the stones later, it could be a little bit annoying. Only a little bit. Not very. I mean, there's some contingency that the stones are pulled out, but I mean, this is what Ilya wants. Like, Ilya is inviting Black to become his prey. That's how Ilya thinks, I think. So, you know, N8 makes sense. And then, okay, 014. So good thing Artem's attacking, right? Right? No. So, I mean, I refuse to think this. Artem's a good player. Like, I don't know, he played better than this against me. Like, you can't play L17 and think that you're making points. Like, that can't be the reason. I don't know. Very strange play. I think, I don't know. I can't say anything except that maybe Artem was overthinking playing L17. Back. Oh, hello there, Dusty Baduk. Dusty Baduk has returned. So, O14 is... O14 is a very bold promise. O14 is basically saying, I'm keeping the entire right side. That's a cool emote. Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, though. So, this is basically claiming ownership of the entire right side, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Maybe Artem has a point. Okay. Now, what would Ilya play? I mean, first of all, what should white play? Maybe that's the first question. Then we decide what Ilya would do, I guess. Oh? So, I'm just thinking how easy it is to invade the top side. Like, I'm trying to ascertain that. So do we play R15 here and then... I mean, not now, right? I'm just thinking, like, how much space does white have to make life in here? Not that much. Not that much. So O14 in a way makes sense. But okay, let me pose a question to the audience. You want to make points on the right side, right? So Artem's solution is he plays here, here, and here, which kind of, sort of, maybe makes points on the top side, and gives white two moves on the board. Now, if you wanted to just make points on the top side, why don't you just play here? Which makes a few less points on the top side, like some fewer points, and also gives white only one move on the rest of the board, and also actually makes points on the right side without an invasion option. I like how black plays bold and adventurous. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like what black did. Just doesn't make sense. So, okay. You know, L17 has to be an attacking move. It doesn't make sense otherwise. I don't see the idea. But okay, it's Ilya's turn. I think... What's the move here? Is it something like... That's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find the next move, actually. I'm tempted to say something along the lines of N10. Maybe. Maybe. Or maybe we want to jump out with L13 or so. Or M13. But it's actually hard to find a move. No move on the lower side is, like, appealing, because, like, what do you even do down there? So it has to be a move around this central corridor. I'm just not sure which move. Doesn't that move kind of activate the sequence you showed on the top where white gets 2 extra stones? Well... starting with Q17. Well, yeah, so Dilum, so you... Now you maybe can do this, and you're still gonna get these Sente moves. And, you know, now O14 doesn't make sense. So I agree that this is something that white can have in mind for the future. However, I still wouldn't do this as white, because, like I said, there's still a lot of possibilities you will invade later with R15 or something. There's some possibilities, or some possibilities you'll even, I don't know, play something like, you know, this move and say, okay, you can't cut me and I can fight in here. So when you play those exchanges, you're making black much stronger overall, and also you're giving black M18, which is good for black because it improves endgame. So it makes Q17 better, but it still doesn't make Q17 good. Let's put it that way. Oh, hello there, Go-Go Gooplet. Welcome. So P15 terrible, probably. Yeah, P15 just gets cut and helps black's shape, so no. G14. G14 is maybe a little bit close to black's strong stones. Like, you're not attacking these stones, so why play so close to them? I guess it exists as a move, because, you know, maybe later you can cut and get some Sente moves, but it's really weird. I don't think you should do that. I'm guessing it's more along the lines of some move in this central corridor, and what I'm finding it really hard to do is decide whether I want to play here, which sort of maybe prepares to play something like this and fight inside black's area later. Do I want to play this, which sort of focuses towards the other side of the board, where, you know, white has some sort of moyo? Or do I play something like, you know, this or this, which helps out this group? Because, you know, this group, you know, it's not so weak, but if we leave it forever, then it will die eventually. Eventually. So there's a lot of options here. What did Ilya do? Okay, so Ilya plays M13. So M13 is one of the moves I looked at. And M13 has the idea I pull the group out, and, you know, next I play something like N10 and connect all my stones and make a big moyo. So, good thing these stones were weak, Kappa. Don't let dreams be dream. Beat them pros and become the new Lee Sedol. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, dreams can be dreams, on the go board, I guess. So on the go board, don't dream. It's not good for you. Okay, anyway. N12. No. I don't know. I mean, is being down 0-1 in a series so psychologically hard you just need to indiscriminately grab points however bad it is? I don't have another explanation. I like L17. What White did what Black did on the lower right is sort of interesting because, okay, you get good shape and points on the right side, and it's not so easy for White to fix the shape. I mean, I think it is easy for White to fix the shape, and this is a good result for White. So, you know, if I really had to guess, the correct way for Black to play would have been like just Q4 and start some kind of running fight. Maybe this and this. So, you know, but this I can excuse. Ilya won the first game. Yeah. And Ilya's currently, he won the Grand Prix Finale because he won 2-0. But I can't find any other explanation for it. I mean, Artem has played more inexcusably bad moves so far in this game than he played against me all series. I'm like almost offended. I don't know, like, Anyway, you don't do this. I mean, Artem's a much better player than me. Just don't do this. I don't get it. I mean, what does the computer say for White here? If anyone remembers what the computer said, I'd appreciate it. White has to be hard winning this. Oh, hello, Ramanskaigo. Your next day, one day stream? Wow. I think it has Black ahead. Black ahead? No way. Black can't be ahead here. It's impossible. Even according to the computer. Oh, first day stream, Western Dance Challenge, I see. If the bot says that Black's better here, I don't get it. Because L17 is bad. And P10 is bad. Like, everything's bad. And White hasn't made any major mistakes. Like, I'm trying to think from the bot's perspective here. Even the Joseki on the top left is generally, you know, bots generally like it for White. So if... I'd be extremely surprised if the AI gives a good result for Black here. Try psychological attacks on Artem next time, it might work. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to... like, it's easier to attack people psychologically like when you're Ilya. Because, like... Ilya kind of psychologically attacks, you know, by default. Like, Ilya plays under the premise, you know, like, Ilya plays under the premise that you are going to crumble under his fist. You know? I don't play like that. I play under the premise that if I play well, I'll win. Like, if I play well on the go board, I'll win. And, you know, Ilya is, like, kind of... he likes playing mostly off of pressure, and I think sometimes he doesn't care what the computer thinks. I mean, I don't care what the computer thinks either, because I have my own opinions about the game. But the point is, I believe that there's a right way to play Go, and I try to adhere to that right way. And I think Ilya just tries to make his opponent crumble. P10 could be played to prevent Moyo. p10. Maybe, yeah. The whole bottom right corner was a bit questionable for white. White attached q6. Many moves later, black has these 50 points on the right side. White still only has an uncertain framework. Well, yeah, I mean, this is maybe why some people would like black. Because black has solid points. But solid points don't mean... Like, just because white's moyo is uncertain doesn't mean it will be more than... Sorry, it will be less. Like, there's a degree of uncertainty with a moyo, but you can be certain it will be within some range. And here I like white. And I don't like white because white has a moyo. I like white because black played bad, and white didn't. Like, black played bad moves. So, you know, apparently attaching q6 is bad. But I actually, okay, you know, maybe the bot does like this for black, and I'm very surprised because I just don't see where white's mistakes are. Like, in my opinion, white's main mistake is p8. Like, p8 has to be at 07, shape-wise. So here you're leaving, like, a problem in your shape intentionally, right? And this is Ilya just daring black to get out. Ilya wants Artem to pull these stones out and fight. And I don't think it's a good move. But other than that, white made no bad moves, and I don't really like what black did here. So I don't know. Strange game. Does f5 have value in this position? White tanuki'd it. White didn't really tanuki it. White played d8. And this kind of exchange is sort of a very hard to judge, because now white has a cutting point, but white also has a stone on the side. It's very hard to judge this kind of position. I wouldn't know what to tell you. Like, these exchanges are just like, they make them, and then later in the game, depending on the context, it will become clear which, like, who profited from it. Dacat is back. Yeah, I guess so. Monkas. But okay, let's see what happened. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, it's kind of obvious that black's gonna push through. Here, 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 here. And here, for a brief second, it looks like Ilya's holding everything. But that isn't necessarily the case. White has a lot of cutting points for sure. So let's see. Oh my god. Give up the Ponuki for this. Do you have to do this? Do you really have to do this? Wait, what's wrong with connecting? At the point you asked, yes, OGSAI says black is ahead by 2 points. Black's ahead by 2. Wow, I'm shook. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so I don't see what white did wrong, basically. So that's actually hard for me to process. I mean, black, I want to say black's moves are all, like, not that bad. Like, in my opinion, L17 is clearly a bad move, but it's only a slightly bad move. Likewise, P10, this P10 014 idea is clearly bad, but it's slightly bad. So maybe this is one of those situations where I think that black is playing moves that are clearly suboptimal, but there are moves that Ilya played that are not so clearly suboptimal, but aren't good. Like, you know, it can be less clear, but it can have a bigger effect. That's the only explanation I can find for it. I guess you can put a lot of it down to P8. P8's a weird move, but yeah, maybe. At 05 Hane, it's 4.5. Okay. So P4? What's wrong with P4? I'm really curious as to what's wrong with P4. I don't know. Can someone who reads better than me tell me what's wrong with just connecting? Like, there's not immediately anything wrong with it. It's just interesting. It's just some fight. Yeah, I really don't see the issue. As far as I can tell, white can sort of hold this. Because I don't even know where black starts, actually. Tenuki? So not me, yeah. I guess not. I mean, Tenuki isn't a way to punt. Like, connecting seems right. Maybe white just wanted Sente. Maybe. But, like, okay, so in Go, there's a hierarchy, and this is one of the things that's difficult about Go. In Go, there's a hierarchy of things that are good and things that are bad, right? And sometimes people want Sente, and sometimes people want to not give their opponent a Ponuki. That threatens to cut off at N7. You know, like, and you have to choose between things that are good. I choose to not give my opponent a Ponuki. Like, if the punishment for P4 is Tenuki, you know, I don't know, punish away. I don't mind. I see complications. Okay. Yeah, M6 didn't remove the cut. Yeah, M6 is such an incomplete move. Like, if you have to play M6, then I can see why the computer likes black. M4. Wait, Sandman, I thought you weren't allowed to talk in this conversation. For, I don't know, moral reasons or something. But yeah, M4 is interesting. So, okay, let's just go up, I guess. And now the idea is this, and this, and then this is, like, 2 for 3 is a really nice exchange for black. Yeah, fair enough. So what about we play here, then? Because here, I don't quite see the next move, I guess. Why Sandman cannot talk? I mean, it was his own point. He was like, so I said something along the lines, can someone who reads better than me, you know, tell me what to do here for black? And then Sandman was like, oh, so not me. So kick him out? Maybe not. Come on, he's not that bad. Is Sandman 6 done? Yeah, he is. You know, I take every opportunity to say this still. I would never make my username a rank. Because that's, like, really, really pessimistic, you know? Like, Sandman is strong enough to become 7 dan at some point, or to become professional. But no, he's Sandman 6 dan. It's, like, really inconvenient to have to change your Twitch username, you know? So, more like Sandman. Yeah. Yeah, correct. So, I don't see the problem with P4. I mean, yeah, 8 dan is good. Yeah, well, in your case, Jeff, you're still not at 8 dan, so it's fine. You know, like, you can't... Like, you'll take a while to reach 8 dan, judging by current progress. So, what if you make your rank 10 dan? Yeah, 10 dan would be good. Actually, the biggest example of this that I know is Sinan Jepov. So basically, Sinan Jepov, like, he's a Bulgarian player who's, like, a couple of years older than me. And he was, like, you know, he was maybe, like, 15 years old at the time. And he was the best player in Bulgaria already. And, like, I think people from Bulgaria were, like, really, like, standing him. And they were, like, saying he's the best player ever. And he, like, started registering as 5 dan at tournaments. That's when he stopped thinking he's on top of the world. And his KGS username was Young Pro. And it's still Young Pro, and it's really, really funny, actually. Has he made it to a pro qualification yet? Who knows? Oh yeah, he made it to 1, yeah. And he forgot how he did there. You take every opportunity to flex, I guess so, yeah. I'm flattered you don't even consider dropping to 5 dan. Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, you're good. Except for 1001 Q, his rank is great. Yeah. I made this account back to 15 years. Ah. No improvement for 15 years. That's unfortunate. But Ilya thought for a really long time here must be something with 07. Oh, N7. N7 just play here. I mean, I still don't see the problem, I guess. So, I don't know. So, I mean, we play here, I guess, but now white has this move. So, like, okay, if this happens, and you let black kill like this, that's probably pretty good for black. But even though that's probably playable. But you kind of have this in Sente. So, and this has the potential to be complicated, I guess. But in general, white should be okay. That's my impression. Day. Oh, hello there, Siku. No improvement in 15 years, yeah. Nose Tetsuji and live inside. Too lazy to read. Nose Tetsuji and live inside. A way to play, you were like my only hope. Of like someone who reads better than me. Oh wait, Dongi's in chat now, so you know there's a chance. I don't know. Ben Zero is doomed then. Yeah, Ben Zero is always doomed. But don't worry, however doomed Ben Zero is, I'm always more doomed, so it's okay. Why are you still not pro? Because I'm not good enough. Yeah, anyway. So, okay, so we give up a Ponuki, and we give up a Ponuki to play Q17. Oh, look at Ilya. Ilya did what I wanted him to do. Well, I'm not sure if I wanted him to do this, but I sort of advocated it. So what's the problem with this move? Like, okay, we give away these Sente moves, but oh, not like this. But then we like connect, and then we play here, and then probably J17 endgame isn't worth it. So okay, Ilya scratch a little bit of endgame profit, and then okay. So from a psychological perspective, I kind of understand why Ilya does this. Like, you know, this looks scary. Like, look at this. I mean, come on. Can someone in chat tell me they're not scared of this? Okay, Jeff's not scared of it, because Jeff's obsessed with invading stuff. But, you know, like, you know, to Artem, who has been, like, clutching his territory and playing, like, the most passive, boring move ever all game, this is scary. So I understand this. However, with that said, don't give away a Ponuki. Don't give away a Ponuki, enabling a cutting point at N7, enabling 03. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try this at home. Because, you know, like, this Moyo is scary, but if you think about it objectively, white has so many problems here. Like, white has so many problems. A is a problem, the stone at B can be revived, C is a problem. I mean, an AI would have a field. Yeah, of course, AI definitely likes this game. Like, in my opinion, like, if I looked at this position, I could have imagined that the game is fine for white if white plays P4. Even from an AI perspective, and from a human perspective, I really do like white at this point. I think black just made more mistakes than white did. But you give a Ponuki like this, the game's objectively worse for you. Like, don't do this. So this is objectively worse for Ilya, but yeah, this is Artem probably isn't so used to handling this stuff. So, you know, that's also the fun part. So what about playing M18 and jumping for black too slow? Some moves missing there, never mind me. I'll be silent for a while too. Oh, that's a pity. Yeah, I mean, M18 and jumping, like, it's an idea that we had before, but it is a bit too slow at this point. Oh, so thank you for following. Split 3 and 5. I don't spleen 5. I don't know. Well, thank you very much for the follow. Meant responding L18 with M18. Yeah, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I think you mean this, right? And we've discussed this before, right? So the whole point is that, like this. Oh no, I'm wrong. When white L18. Oh, okay. So you wanna. So if white does this, you wanna play this, right? Did I get it right this time? Yes. Okay. So Yeah, don't do that. Okay, I'll try to explain why. So, if black plays this, right? White's gonna get this move in Sente. White's gonna get, eventually, right, in endgame, this Hane in Sente. And at the end of the day, black has made approximately 5 extra points. Looks good, right? Now, what black hasn't made that he could have been making before is, like, you know, like, all of these points, plus added Aji. So, let's say you do this, you do this, you do this, and black plays here. White has a lot of fun stuff inside black's territory now. Actually, wait, maybe it's not that fun. I thought it would be more fun. Because if you play this, then black plays here. That's actually not as fun as it could have been. White should probably have exchanged M18 right away after P18. Probably, yeah. Yeah. No harm in that, at least. But I don't think black should do this usually, because even if we look at it from a point perspective, I mean, black makes something, but black loses something. So if we look at this, black basically lost around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, black, like, you basically lost... Yeah, he saves his stones. Okay, so, Dylan, we're going to talk about this from the perspective of points, because in Go, stones basically cloud your judgment. Yeah, exactly, Sassy Cat. This is exactly the point I'm getting to. Loses Sente. Thank you. I'm about to get to that. So, we don't care about the stones here, because there are no weak groups. Like, stones getting captured or not getting captured matters if there are weak groups. Like, in this context where white's really strong, these 2 stones may as well just be 4 points that white can get. So it doesn't matter that they're stones. Now, let's consider it from point perspective. Let's play here, and then let's play this and this. So black has gained that he didn't gain in the variation suggested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Plus 8 points because this stone was captured by white in the variation. Conversely, white has gained about 4 extra points. Right? I mean, maybe you could argue 5. You could argue. I'm not sure you should, but you could. And you know, you have some endgame follow-up, I suppose. So here black is like plus 4 locally, you know, maybe plus 3 or something. Black has Sente. That's important. Black has Sente. And also, if you think about it, it's more like this exchange is on the board, which is a nice exchange for black. Now, let's consider what happens if we do this and we connect. The big issue with this is that black may technically have kept 5 points, right? And white has, you know, this is like 5 points extra for black compared to some other variation, maybe like 6, I guess. And white, you know, white has reduced 8 points in our corner, but white also has 4 fewer points. This is very slightly better on points, but we lost Sente, right? White has Sente on E16 group anyhow, that's why I would want to play it. E16 group is very strong. Like, E16 group is unbelievably strong. You don't mind this group. Like, this group isn't getting attacked anytime soon. And, you know, black playing this move would defend it, which also reduces the moyo. I don't know, like... Also, black plays this and black has 10 points. This group isn't weak. So, in this case, it's mostly about Sente, I suppose. And my original argument would actually have been that white's Ponuki will help you stir up some trouble in the corner, but that doesn't seem to be happening in this case. Black can probably just play here and be fine. Like, even though it looks really bad, like, maybe white has something, white probably doesn't. So, yeah. I guess the Aji is... now it's just about Sente. But okay. Let's get back to the game. So Ilya plays F13, and the bot probably loves black here. I agree with that. But Artem doesn't love black here. So, you know, like, using weaknesses is not Artem's strength, I suppose. Like, this is probably not the kind of game that you're gonna have fun. Now, I'm the type of player who really, really likes invading this kind of territory, but I'm not very good at it. Like, I look at this territory and I'm like, oh, there's so many weaknesses. I can use so much. Like, I'm basically like the computer in terms of like the thought process. Like, look at these weaknesses I'm gonna use. Like, it's also weak. I'm gonna like start exposing the flaws in the moyo, and then I try it and I die everywhere. So that's where I like diverge from the bot. So to see the difference, put a black stone around f12 versus white play at f13. Yeah, that's worth more than the top side for sure. Okay, let's watch Artem invade, I suppose. This exchange is suspicious. Okay, so he tried reducing. Okay, so we tried like reduction lite kind of attitude towards this moyo. I think black can probably do more here. Like maybe I'm overzealous or something, but my instinct is actually to pull out this stone and ask white what moyo. Like white's like, look at my moyo. You're like, what moyo? Maybe this, and we play here. I don't know, I'd like to remind white that he's not so strong himself. Like, I'm not, maybe not like this, maybe actually the other way. But, I don't know, I'd like to make a group inside here if I can. But it's not so easy to do it, right? Like I said, my way to tackle such a moyo is usually to die inside it, so just... Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, in my before last game I invaded kind of successfully, but you know that you know my opponent contributes as well to the cause, you know. So L4 is pretty good. L4 is nice in the sense that, you know, you're gonna get extra endgame later, but it's endgame. I mean, it's some points. I don't know, like I think black can crush white here. Less seems thin. Can black attach d8 somehow and get good options? Well, that's sort of what black tried here. I mean, the thing is, when you say something is thin, the next word shouldn't be let's attach to it. In a way, because when you attach something, you make it stronger. Like right now, you're thinking, oh, are there some options against this group? And not like after this exchange, you're like, not anymore, right? I wish to be black here. Yes, we know, Jeff. You like invading. Jeff sees this kind of like he sees his opponent making this kind of moyo, and he's like a kid like on Christmas, like opening his presents. It's like aji here, aji there, aji here. So I'd probably have tried d9 attach instead. Yeah, d9 attach is a better idea, I think. Like I think e8 attachment is just a nothing move. Sounds like fun. Yeah, it sounds like fun until you die. That's the thing with invading. I have lots of fun when I like invade. It's okay. Let's try and tackle this a little bit more succinctly. How does black play this? I'm not liking either L6 or K7 that much anymore. Because it's sort of it makes you heavy. Like it commits to too much. So even though I'm sort of tempted to like just go for it and tell white, oh, you don't what moyo? But yeah, it doesn't seem too good. What about J8 knows? J8 knows I think probably just helps white. Like all of those options of pulling out L6 later are not there. So I mean black has 70 points, probably just reducing is enough. Maybe reducing is enough. That's another question. But the thing is, in Go, I think, is this enough is rarely the right question to ask. In Go, the right question to ask is, can I do this? Like, black may have enough if you just reduce, but it's definitely not correct. Like, the correct thing for black is to smash this moyo in two. And if you're reducing it, you're making a concession. Maybe it's enough, but you're gonna lose your lead to a certain extent. Set up a game where at finish 8 done is black and you're playing white. Let's see how long you would resist. I mean, maybe I'd resist a long time. I don't know. But maybe I wouldn't. Jumpo to L5 or H7. J7 keeps seeing lines wrong. Oh, yeah, J7. I've thought about this as well. The only problem with this is that as far as I can tell, white will just play this and make shape. And then all of your aji has been cashed out for nothing. So black has to be, I think, a little bit more discreet than this. This one is a little bit of a better idea, but I think white will just geta you, so I don't see the issue. So, okay. How does black start this? My guess is that probably we want to start here. Because I see a lot of cool ideas starting with d9 relative to how thin white is on the top side. Like, you know, L6 is interesting, but it's sort of a project for later. Like, when Ilya gave this Ponuki, he has a point that this is, for the moment, kind of solid. And the reason it's solid is that the moment that black plays in that area, black becomes heavy, which isn't what you want to do when you're invading. So, don't you think it's just your style? That's just your style. Oh, I don't know. What's my style? I don't know. I really don't these days. So, you know, the sort of idea is that, you know, say white plays random sequence. Now maybe we can attach here. And that's preparing the ladder as well as just hunting G13. So this is the type of thing I have in my mind at the moment. Crushing moyos. My style was making moyos for a long time, but this tournament I've played the opposite way. So I just crushed a moyo today and lost by half a point anyway. But yeah. My last 2 games, my opponent had like this moyo structure and I invaded. So I guess maybe style has been changing recently. I don't know. I think this is good. Like, if black doesn't find an immediate way to use the weaknesses on the left side, sorry, on the lower side, then starting with d9 might be good. The thing I don't like about this is that when you play d9, you sort of erase the aji offered to you by this cutting point. Like, you know, to be quite honest, let's imagine white just plays here. Maybe black can just fight this. Maybe. So, you know, we looked at some variations where earlier, right, when all of these extra stones weren't there, where black played this, white plays this, and this. And then, you know, if black plays here, can white kill this? I don't know. Maybe. But, you know, black would like to live here. Would be very nice. So, the idea being, you know, something like this, and this, white eventually has to come back to this area. Like, you probably can't just leave it, I think, and allow something like this move. Or I guess you can, but it shouldn't be very good. So, okay, let's defend. And then, you know, black plays here. Is this so easy to kill? I don't think so. This group is actually kind of slippery and has a lot of ice space. So maybe this kind of move is next, actually. And, you know, you have to play this if you don't want white to make a million eyes in Sente with d7. Okay, a million. 1. But, maybe this kind of invasion is a good idea. I don't know. Now, the only issue with this invasion is that it's already making huge concessions. So these moves that white got in Sente are really valuable. They greatly reduce the corner. However, at this point, white has invested so much into this moyo that if black lives there, the game's like really nice for black. So probably losing all this stuff in the corner is worth it if you live. Now that if, I don't know, this should live. I don't see this thing dying. I really don't. So, I mean, maybe Ilya would disagree with me, but Ilya's crazy, so I don't know. With that said, I wouldn't want to be the one tasked with living that against him. Let me put it that way. So okay. So Artem went, in all of this game, Artem went for the milk toast, let's do the lowest risk possible thing. And yeah, okay, so, you know, Ilya's not gonna concede this. Ilya's gonna cut, I guess. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we attached here first because now if white cuts, now black has this kind of cut stuff. So okay. Oh, wait. Was Artem scared again? Huh. Wait, did Artem have a reason to be scared? No. No, he didn't, I think. No, he didn't. Ah, okay, but it's... I guess it's just a center exchange, and then... Oh, we Tanuki. It's interesting that black's actually Tanukiing this, because I guess not big enough. Wow, so we just grabbed all the cash. So this is almost like your... Black's just closing the door here. Black thinks he's ahead. Hey Oscar, sorry to hear about your loss. It was a close game. Yeah, don't rub it in, I guess. yeah, but yeah, thanks. Yeah, half-point loss happens. Oh, hello, I'm looking for any possible info on any possible schedule for your Twitch or other streaming or recorded videos. So, yeah. So you may notice that I'm not very good at being open about when I go live or when I'm scheduled. Because I don't know usually. So, I don't... So, my streams get deleted off of Twitch after, like, a couple of weeks, I guess. Probably the only recorded material that I have is Nordic Go Dojo lectures that I record, and those are up on YouTube. As far as my streams, you can probably, like, you can drop into my Discord, like, !Discord, and then you'll receive notifications, like, I'll usually announce my stream schedule on Discord. Even though I don't do it anywhere else. So, you know, that's a way to, like, kind of be aware when I'm up. But anyway, there's the stream. Well, the stream. Will you be saving to YouTube or Twitch videos in the future? That's an interesting question. I actually figured that my Twitch content isn't, like, that useful on YouTube, but I may as well, to be honest. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't. So I might as well. Like, if anyone watches it on YouTube, it's probably worth uploading it. So I might as well. Oh, there's the scream. Oh yeah. There's this scream. So I uploaded one video a while ago, which was basically like a stream clip where, like, I was molding over some Sumego for like an hour and a bit, and then I solved it, and then I screamed. So yeah, that was funny. Loud scream. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if someone like Thank You and or me would watch the content on YouTube. I mean, I could literally upload this stream to my YouTube channel, which has a proud 8 subscribers, I think. You usually come on at least a couple of times each week around certain hours, maybe? Yeah, I do. So the most common times for me to be live are Friday or Saturday afternoon or evening. And usually I go on my Discord server, I specify which times. So for example, this week, I am going live this European 8 p.m. European time, both on Friday and Saturday. So those are my most common stream times, yeah. Okay, so back to the game. I'm ignoring the, by the way, there was a second Sumego, just because, yeah, it's like, the first Sumego was traumatic enough. I think you can make some money on YouTube if people find that you're uploading all your live Twitch streams after some months. I mean, I doubt it's much money, so I don't think that's important. But I mean, if people are watching it, well, why not, you know? So I could upload. I would like to have a stream archive too. Okay, more people would like to have stream archives. I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I might as well just upload this one, so why not? So yeah, I guess expect this stream to be uploaded. It's really not hard for me. I can just do it, you know? I just thought that it's not content that's particularly fit for YouTube. So it just doesn't, I guess it does no harm. So why not? Give me Scream Archive, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have many Screams. Just one. Iconic one, I suppose. It's okay. I might scream after I see this game a bit further. So here we see a very clear intention from Artem to just close the door and make enough money to win the game. And what's going on here? Okay, so I'm gonna say, okay, so Ilya just makes some exchanges that are centish, and you know, basically Ilya's happy to get G2, force white to play O2, and later it's a Semedori. I think I agree with Artem. Black feels ahead. Okay. Bottom left and center Sumego is fun. Bottom left and center. There's Sumegos coming up. Wow. Oh, you're spending the time streaming, so you might as well give the world a chance to watch them later. I guess so. Yeah, why not? Indeed. But there's Sumegos here. Okay. Wait. Oh my god. Oh wow, that's really funny. This is the funniest move this game by far. There's one explanation for this move. So the only reason to play this move is that white's black's scared that this move is Sente. For the other side, I think, or not. No, that's not a good reason. Wait, why are you doing this? It's just worse for points, no? Oh, should I just add dacat1 on YouTube to find your channel, since you don't have a link on Twitch? Oh, actually, my YouTube channel, I actually have... So, I think, I currently have... I mean, I currently have a command that's exclam YouTube, I think. And I think, or exclam video, not sure which, I can even look it up. And the whole idea is that like, it takes you to a video that I uploaded, the one video, and like that's the stream clip. Wait, let me see. I probably deactivated it. Wait, let me check. I probably deactivated it. Give me a second. I'll activate it again. Sorry. And you can go to the channel. I mean, if you want to subscribe, and I'll upload this video afterwards. And I've been thinking about making content for a while, but yeah. Let's see. Let's go to Nightbot. So I've thought about uploading content unique to YouTube for a while, and probably actually this is a good time to ask chat if you're interested, because the type of content I was thinking of making was I'm, you know, like my Better Fox account, the one that's 8 done, like, yeah, the one that's 8 done right now. I don't want to use it on stream because then it'll become 7 dan. Like, I don't play as well on stream. So, essentially, I wanted to go for something along the lines of that I could upload commentary of my higher level games without being distracted by you guys in chat. So, you know, something like that would be good. So... But yeah, I'm sorry, the commands don't work. And actually, I've deleted the command. Wow, wait. Well, I'll actually... there's no reason I can't set this up on stream. Give me a second. So, let me switch account. And I'll basically make it now, and you can use it if you want to go to the channel. There's like one video on it right now. Which is not that interesting anymore because it's a stream clip from a while ago. So let's make add command. Exclam YouTube. Okay. Yeah, probably it should work now. It should. It should. Wait, should it? Probably. Wait, why doesn't it work? Wait, why don't you work? Oh wait, it does work. Yes! Nice. So right now there's only one thing, but I guess I'll at least be uploading stream clips, since people are interested. Okay, back to stream. Back to the regularly scheduled program. H1 is Senta against both. Oh. I disagree with that. H1 isn't Senta against anything. Your devilish laughter scaring little boys and girls for years. That's, yeah, maybe not. We'll make you at least a bit more famous, whether you like to be more famous or not. I see, thanks. So... White M3. Like, I can see how white M3, right? And here, and here, and here. Now, if you know, this move, let's say black does nothing, right? Next move, this will be really annoying for black. And by annoying, I mean heartbreaking. It's Sente against the left. Wait. Sente against the left? Wait, how is this Sente against the left? The point I was going to make is that I think black can just defend and he's fine on the other side. But does this move just work? Oh, this move just works. Okay. This move just works. Okay. I thought for some reason... Yeah, it makes a call. But for some strange reason, I thought that it doesn't just work. Oh, I subscribed. Thank you. I'll have a chance to tell I was among the first 10 subscribers. I see. Yeah, it just works to make ko. So black's just... Okay. Damn, there's a lot of reading here. That's, like, annoying. It just works to make ko. Okay. But then this is a massacre in terms of points. Because black plays this, and then this will happen to you. Right? And then this will happen to you. Like, eventually. And then this will happen to you. And then, you lost all your points. Like, all of them. I mean, we need to count, but if black was slightly ahead, like, under the premise that all of this works out, but... Yeah, it's worse than that! Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so Ilya really screwed him here, it seems. Yeah, so... I thought it was Seki, but no, yeah. So okay, let's go through this Sumego, actually. Let's do this, and then... N3 doesn't even die. Oh no. Really? Okay, yeah, let's look at it in a second. So, okay, let's... Just for a second. Let's consider this. And this? Probably this move. No. No or yes? Wait, this move just gets into huge trouble after white plays here, so this move doesn't work. How do you make a ko here? You make a ko with this move. And then here, here, here. This is the ko. Okay, okay, we found... Wait, yeah, we found one ko. So it's actually cool because black can't live here because of Damezumari. It's a cool Sumego. So now let's see. N3 doesn't even die. Wow. We'll see how that happens. Instead of N6 should black B4. Instead of N6 should black B4. Oh, I'm not sure if you mean N7 or N5, but... That cat doing a Sumego, beware of your ears, yeah. N7. N7 looks fine. N7's really big. So, you know, probably what black did wrong was here. Like, here, if this just works out for white, then you have to Hane here. Wait, do you Hane or do you go down in this case? Maybe you go down. So, that's probably more correct than what black did in the game. Because at least you get endgame on the left side. I had this corner some time ago in one of my own games, but the outside stone had a liberty. Funny enough, taking the liberty also threatened another group on the outside. Nice. Wow. That's cool. So, yeah, probably black didn't play well here. Like, I don't think he realized what's going on. So, okay. Ilya basically screwed Artem here in reading. And let's see how it happens. So, we play here, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, this just works. Wait, but black was winning the race before. How did black lose the race? Black should be winning this one. Oh my god, that's clever. Remember how in the remember how I said that H1. Remember how I said that H1 is sent it for the sent it for this because of like, I mean, I guess because of this stuff, right? It's sent it anyway. Like I mean, you don't need the stone to pull this combo. Like, the key here is you just don't take this liberty, because if you take this liberty, then this move will be met with black just capturing you. Conversely, if you start with this move and black plays here, then now you can connect, and then black's damezumarid. So, yeah, you just have to be accurate about move order, but this just works. Wow. So, yeah, this was just a misread on Artem's part. A game-losing misread. I had a Seki responding F1. Oh, F1. Wait, F1? I think you mean E1, but E1 just dies, I think. Wait, we can go look at it. So, all of dacat1's beliefs are overturned every day, every day. Yeah. Yeah, in the Sumego. So let's look at the Sumego. So F1, and then we play C2, and you need to connect, right? Because we're threatening a snapback. And then white just plays here. And black doesn't have you don't have the liberties to take this liberty. So, you know, you're just in huge trouble here as black. Okay, so wow, so Artem just got destroyed here. Probably it's Byoyomi, by the way. Like, at this stage in the game, so one characteristic of Ilya is that Ilya plays very quickly, comparatively speaking. And at this stage of the game, some people are under time pressure already, whereas he's not. So he has time to read this out, and his opponents don't. Now, let's consider what happens. Like, let's imagine black just plays this move. How is the game? Now I'm interested in like what the game position is, points wise. It's so hard to count this board. It's actually hard because you don't know what to count for who, in what way. Ah, that's annoying. I don't know. White counts just play big moves, yeah. But black's leading on points for sure. But I mean on tangible points. So yeah, it's kind of hard to like calculate it, I guess. So for example, I probably did white an injustice, because if we look at, you know, filler move, not that white should play here, but this like, for example, this move is white sent it, as is this move. And then, you know, like, you can like choose to get this move in center later, or you can choose to get this move in center later, which means that if like black were ever to like, I mean, this doesn't help you that much, I guess. Oh, attractive side quest. Thank you for following. Yeah. Wait, the wrong. Well, according to my reading, yeah, I do that, especially when I misread. You'll get to use that button often. It's fine. Black can't O10. Oh yeah, you can't O10. Yeah, I'm being dumb. Yeah. Yeah, see, I am misreading. See? Easy to use the button. Yeah. So you can't even do that because of this move. Okay, never mind. So, So, basically, black gets destroyed here already. Like, the correct answer to this move is here. Except white plays this move first. But this move hurts the outside. So, okay, let's play here first. Let's force black to play here. And yeah, then I mean, white, what does white do next? I mean, we can play here for white. I guess that's okay. Given that apparently L4 doesn't work that well. So I just, yeah, I'm counting, so give me a second. White's better here. Lunch, be back later if you're still on. Yeah, I'll be on for a couple of hours still, so should be fine. But white's better here, I think. Because if we count it like this, sort of, and we count like this, sort of, so I'm gonna recount to make sure, but it's like... White has like black has like 95. So white's officially down 10 points, or like not quite 10 points, a little bit less than 10 points. More like, I mean, white's down between 5 and 10 points. But I counted absolutely nothing past the line at L4. So white's gonna make more. So my impression was that white can actually make back the points I count that white doesn't have. So yeah, exactly. Black's points are almost fixed. White feels slightly behind on points, but he has a few areas to make them. Yes, exactly. So what it seems that this game could pan out to be is something like this, and this. So if we count very roughly by this metric, I think white should be better here, for example. Just a random example. But actually, I mean, maybe if black plays here, I don't know. I mean, a lot of incorrect moves are being played. I'm going a little bit forward into the game to like give us an idea of a little bit more of an accurate idea if we just play random obvious moves. Who's better? For example, here it's kind of close. Like, it's not that easy here. So, maybe white's not better yet. So, probably black's still doing fine here. Like, maybe white's a bit better, but black's doing fine. So black's reduction strategy has been working out so far. Or, I mean, let me put it this way. I'm pretty sure that black could have done better, right? There are better ways to play this than what happened. but the reduction might be enough from some certain perspective, because the game is sort of close. So, N3. N3. Not quite sure at this point, at which point we wanted to play N3, but yeah, sorry about that. But it's interesting how Artem just got destroyed here. I'm guessing it's time pressure to a certain extent. And also, Artem's reading is not so sharp. Like, you know, Artem reads well, right? He's not a weak player, right? But I'd say that if I had to pick something Artem's not proficient in relative to the rest of his game, it's definitely reading. So, yeah. And he just got destroyed here, so I guess. But such an interesting game. So this game is like, in my opinion, white should be better coming out of the opening. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm sure white is supposed to be better here. Oh, he was talking about future potential endgame scenario. I think it's amusing that black gave up so much in the corner and still N3 lived. Yeah, that's depressing for Artem, yeah. Should probably have just let A2 and accept KO rather than that. Yeah. So, well, that wouldn't have been accepting KO, Red Racing, because let's go over. So the point is, it's not about this move being sent there or not. White can do this, like, white can perform this sequence anyway. So this sequence works whether G1 is sent there or not. But the point is, white probably missed, black missed white's order of moves to kill. So he tried to prevent H1. So it's kind of embarrassing that you play here and then you die anyway. That's really, I mean, I feel bad for Artem in that sense. It happens, I suppose. Okay. Anyway, let's go back and recap this game a little bit. I'm sure Artem resigned a little bit after dying like that. That was just way too bad for him. So I thought L17 was slow and white has a good position afterwards. And also some nice agi for later. And I mean, Q6 is an interesting move. I actually thought that probably black didn't play very well. Like, I think that this is, you know, probably okay from black, but I kind of like the position for white after this, because black is sort of being cramped onto the lower right corner, and your nice-looking Ponukis don't really do much. So there's an argument to be made that this is at least okay for white. So, well, with H1, white can kill. Without H1, white can only kill 2 stones. White can connect first line. It's crazy. I don't think... Wait. Okay, let me recap the game and then we look at this shape again, because I thought that you don't need H1 at all. You can just connect on the first line. So, I think... Yeah, we'll look at it again, but I think I disagree with you, Red Racing. I wonder why he didn't in the game. I mean, he did in the game. White did connect on the first line. What? No? Yeah, he did. That's the point. It's okay. This move was weird. The more I think about it, the more this move is weird. And this is the type of move that players that don't respect consequences play. And Ilya doesn't respect consequences very often. So... Oh, I mean, in the game, white didn't kill all the black stones. What do you mean? White killed everything. White murdered black. I mean, we'll look at it later. Anyway, so... P8... you know, I look at this shape, and I'm like, I want to fix my weakness. You know? That's what I think. Ilya looks at this weakness, and he's like, oh, I wish black would run out and make a weak group out of that. So he deliberately galvanizes black to pull out the stone and create a weak group. Didn't you play such a Kosumi against Artem? Different context. Also, that Kosumi was really bad. So, I mean, very different context, though. Like, I couldn't just get on my opponent's stone in that situation. So, doesn't respect consequences. So, my point is, I see this weakness and I want to fix it. Ilya sees this weakness and he doesn't respect his opponent's ability to use it. So, he's like, oh, I'm going to play here and if you pull out this stone, you have a weak group. That's the language. Now, I don't believe that black has a weak group, or like, you know, I think that black should probably be fine in this fight. In fact, I think black should have pulled this. Black should have pulled the stones out. I'm quite sure of it. And actually, pulling the stones out isn't even the point. It's not the point. So black maybe should pull the stones out. Maybe. I think he should, but that isn't not actually the point. Oh, the point is beginner goes raiding with a party of 29. Well, thank you. Welcome to the stream, people. Yeah. So for all you new people, we are currently reviewing. So, you know, those of you who don't know, there's some European tournaments going on online, Grand Prix Finale, kind of a prestigious European event, and we're reviewing the final game between Artem Kachanovsky, the 2-dan professional who knocked me out of the tournament, and Ilya Shikshin, who kind of needs no introduction. He's like the final boss of Europe, I suppose. So yeah, welcome raiders. It's okay. And I'm kind of recapping the game right now. So the point of this weakness isn't whether black can pull out now or later. The point is that if black does nothing, right? Like, let's play a nothing move for black, like P10. White has to defend this weakness later. Like, if white plays here now, white can just say, you do this, I do this. What's the problem? I don't have a weakness anymore. I'm just good. Like, locally, my shape is fixed. So when white plays this move, you're committing to having a problem for the rest of the game. So it doesn't even matter that black has the weakness or doesn't have the weakness. Sorry, black can use it or can't use it. What matters is that white's basically committing to playing 2 moves to defend the weakness. Now, I'm sure that Ilya didn't look at it that way. Ilya looked at it like he thought black pulls out the stones now, and that's good for me. I don't know if it's good for him, but I think that Ilya's mistake is that he didn't even consider in his head whether it's possible that his opponent doesn't pull out the stone and that then he'll have a problem. You know? So my point is that pulling out the stone might be good for black. I don't know. Ignoring is definitely good for black. Now, okay, I'm not sure I like P10. I'm not sure I like P10. But I'm sure that, you know, this exchange is good for black. I'm pretty sure. And has been the final boss of Europe for quite a while now, correct, yes. Wait till dacat matures a bit. Yeah, I just gotta mature before I beat Ilya. That's all it'll take. Not much to it, Kappa. So probably this is a mistake, and maybe at the time I didn't give this mistake the credit it deserves, like how bad it is. And, you know, we can see a little bit later in the game how this weakness came home to roost. Because, you know, black played 0-5, and the way for white to stick to his guns is to connect here. Because, like this, you're kind of claiming that you don't have a problem here, and you're willing to take on the fight. And as far as I can tell, white could have done this. I still don't see what is clearly the issue for for white in this area. I think white's just okay. I don't see a clear way for black to exploit this, and I think Ilya should have done this. So Ilya instead went for m6 here and f13, and this is really funny plan by white because I'm sure I'll bet. Okay, I won't bet anything, but I'll bet quite a lot of stuff on that. The AI thinks that this game is really good for black, and black's gonna crush this Moyo, like crush it, crumple it. And I don't. Yeah, I mean, from a human perspective, this is hard to play for black. I suggested some ways that black could do it. My favorite way would have been to cut f4 probably and create a group. When do you plan to be the final boss? It'll take a while. I don't know. As soon as he finds a 9p ghost. Yeah. I mean, I have one stored on my computer, but like, I have a camera on me, so it's kind of hard to use it. Francois says Atari and nose looks cool. Oh, I found out a way to play his name. Nice. I think. So, I think we're referring to this, and this. And this Atarian knows, which is a thing, I guess. And my response for it was this, but this is really complicated. I don't want to say it's easy for white. I don't want to say it's easy. I do want to say I think white could have gone for it. But wait, were we talking about this Atarian nose? Maybe we weren't. This is the Atarian nose I thought of. His name is a wild guess. Oh, okay. Interesting guess. I don't agree with that guess, if it's a guess. But I can't think of a Francoise that is as strong as a way to play. Or, and, okay, if there were one, I can't think of a Francoise that has done enough Sumegos. So, like, yeah. Okay, so white made the, I'm sure AI dubious decision, but in a human sense, kind of good decision here. And, you know, in my opinion, black basically decided to reduce, but reducing wasn't the strongest thing black could have done. Like, black could definitely have invaded here. And I suggested some ways to do it. I know it's not easy. I know it's psychologically hard. But yeah, I don't think black played well here. And already, I think the game is arguably kind of close. The game's kind of close at this point, like, if black doesn't make the fatal mistake of cutting at m4. So, yeah. I think here, and yeah, here black just collapsed, like, white rolled him over in this fight, so... Yeah. The 9p bot would be banned for botting today, yeah. Do you do enough Sumegos, Oscar? Depends. Usually I do. So... yeah, that was interesting game. And thus... oh my god, but this is such... this is so, like... horribly humiliating. Like, on the board for black. I mean, this is like... You give this Hane, right? Like, just a small recap of how bad this is. You give this Hane. In order that you don't die with the lower side group, you die anyway. Black, like, white pushes you in here and gets to play O11 next. I don't understand that. Black bottom group isn't dead at the end. It is dead. It's completely dead. But at least black got to save L2. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Oh, we got to... oh my god. You get to save it that way. Oh. Wow. So you get to play this. And this. Oh, this is so humiliating. I missed it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I missed that move. Yeah. I missed you can do this. So, I mean, this is some endgame follow-up for black. I mean, this is only worth like 10 points. Ah, that's why H1 matters. Yeah, yeah. Actually, good point. White should throw in at 5. What? At 5? I'm not sure what... oh, throw in at 5. Well, throw in at 5 is like... yeah, throw in at 5 is like 1 point better, because later in the game... so the reason that this matters is that later in the game, this A1 will be sent. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. You people are right. It's 1 point better. But yeah, I mean, this is a sad consolation prize for black. I guess H1 does matter. Wow. Do you think Artem read it, or he just got scared? I think he got scared, mostly. Because he's probably in time pressure now, so it's hard to read so deeply. Ilya probably had like 15 minutes here, so yeah. I didn't watch the game live, like, not closely, so I'm not quite sure, though. And the opponent factor. Yeah, everyone's terrified of Ilya. I guess, is correct. But okay, interesting game, wow. This is, in my opinion, this is yet another example of how arrogant Ilya's Go is. And, you know, kudos that he pulls it off. But, I mean, I don't think, you know, like, I, for example, have, you know, a degree of respect for what I think is correct. So, if I think here, like, I'll give you an example. Here, I don't think that, like, I think that this move is fundamentally bad because I'm not fixing a weakness I could be fixing, right? Ilya doesn't care. Ilya isn't playing the AI's Go, or Ilya isn't trying to adhere to correct Go. He's trying to win the game, which sometimes means you force your opponent's errors and you make him uncomfortable. So I think Ilya is inherently accustomed to playing moves that are suboptimal because who cares? So Ilya speaks in pressure. And sometimes that leads him to make bad decisions. But, for example, here, later in the game, when he makes this weird decision to play f13, I wouldn't have the stomach to do this. Like, I wouldn't have the stomach to do this. So, because I respect the board enough to know that this Moyo shouldn't be able to hold. Shouldn't. Now, Ilya probably also knows that. Like, Ilya would probably be happy playing the black side of this. But Ilya, my guess is that Ilya knows his opponent, and he says, you're not going to do anything. And he was right. He was right. I mean, black didn't do anything. Black reduced the game, and what was undoubtedly a favorable game for black ended up being a close endgame. After which, black misread and lost. So, yeah. Oscar saying others are arrogant, yeah. He probably read that he died after H1. He may not have read that he still died without H1. Yeah. I probably agree with that. That was my misread as well. It's not terrible to make a move that requires a follow-up to finish the Yachi. It's the same as capturing a stone in a ladder. Well, it's the same concept, but sometimes it's not good to do it, right? Like, it's not inherently bad. My argument is that it's clearly bad here. Right, I'm not saying it's always bad. Okay, anyway. The games between him and Pavel were more fun. Two crazy players. Yeah, I mean, Pavel versus Ilya is like the disrespect festival. Like, Zogi says that, implies I'm arrogant, and he's right. I'm arrogant. But my Go isn't arrogant. My Go actually isn't arrogant enough. Sometimes. Like, yeah. So, there is that. Okay. So that was a fun review. Probably time to choose another game. We've been on this game for like 2 hours, so probably we're gonna do one more game, and it'll take an hour and something, 2 hours. And probably wrap up the stream after that. Which game to do though? There's so many cool games. I mean, there's one of my own 2 games that I've played. There's my games against Artem. So Honte moves is not arrogant. Well, it depends on the move, right? Like, more than... What I would call arrogance in Go is that you're relying on your opponent to screw up, which Ilya does routinely. Like, Ilya's bread and butter is assuming his opponent screws up. And, Go is a hard game, so his opponents screw up. Like, the best players in Europe screw up against Ilya because he challenges them, right? Like, he sort of... Yeah, I'd say that he just puts pressure on you. And at this point, one of the reasons it works so well is because of the aura that Ilya has. Like, he wins so much that there's a psychological effect to Ilya being aggressive against you at this point. So I think that probably affects people. Yeah, you need a bit of craziness to become a legend. I don't agree with that, but I mean, it helps, I guess. The only reason being crazy can lead you to become a legend is that other people are weak. Ilya tries this against, not even against a bot, but a version of Artem that isn't so humanly irrational. And I'm not blaming Artem specifically. I think most people would crumble to Ilya in this situation. And by most, I mean like everyone, basically. But the point is that if a bot of Artem's strength were to play this position, I think the bot would win. If that makes any sense. Or playing Honte on one side of the board because you don't believe you can die on the other side. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And if you're behind Honte is also arrogant. It depends on the Honte, really. But case-by-case basis, Okay, so fun game. Now, what to do? Well, people are not bots, so you can be crazy. Yeah, exactly. People like Ilya rely specifically on the human factor. That's my opinion. Okay, so what do we do next? I don't know. So there's lots of games. I mean, there's my quarterfinal games against Artem. There's a lot of different quarterfinal games. There's semi-final games, there's losers games, there's my games from the losers bracket. Do you think he could beat himself? I mean, if he played himself, he'd have to beat himself at some point. Oscar is not arrogant, Kappa. Well, I mean, just a little bit, you know? Review game between Dosako and Duetsu. I'm sorry, probably for this stream I'd like to stick on the Grand Prix Finale. Even Go Seigen has his craziness. Maybe. You know what I mean? Does he play that way while knowing the weakness in the strategy? Oh! Yeah, now I know what you mean. So, I don't think... Okay, let me put it this way. I think Ilya has trouble playing someone... if Ilya were to play a game against someone even more aggressive than him, I think probably he wouldn't do well. So, Ilya is used to playing very aggressively, and I don't think he'd be able to handle over-aggression coming from someone like him. Let me put it that way. Like, maybe he's aware of it, so he's just not used to dealing with it. That's my guess. I don't know. Did Ali or Tongi play a game we could review? I mean, Tongi didn't get past the group stage, so, you know, he didn't really play that many games. I actually reviewed one of his games on stream. Ali played some interesting games. I mean, there's Ali's games against Ilya. Those were fun. Actually, I mean, there's some really funny games of Ali versus Ilya, so we could do that. Did you comment your loss? Which one of them? I mean, I lost more, like, I lost more games than won in this tournament. So I won 3 games, lost 4 games, and got 6th place out of 16. So, you know, goes interesting. Unlike other strong players, like Oscar, for instance. Yeah. Just throwing ideas out here. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, we could do Ali versus Ilya. There's some funny games like that. Wait, let me look up. Actually, I like the idea. Because there's some funny games there, including, like, the yearly game that Ilya loses. So that's good. So let's look up, let's look up down here. Yeah, this is the game. The yearly game. Yeah. I mean, Ilya loses. Probably he loses, like, you know, more than once a year, but not much more. Lots of symmetry in that game. Yeah. He lost to Pavel as well. When did he lose to Pavel? In the okay, in the semi-finals. But yeah, that was a weird game. So Ilya losing 2 games in a tournament is rare for sure. In general, he just steamrolls through tournaments. The weird thing is, so I mean, Ilya is definitely the strongest professional, and I don't just mean that. I mean, if you look at his rating, he's like 60 points rated higher than any of the other professionals. And I mean, that doesn't, you know, rating is a very subjective thing, so I don't want to say that, like, you know, my judgment on player strength is based on the eye test. Like, I look at them play, and I'm like, are they good, right? And I think it's not because of the rating difference that, in my opinion, Ilya's much better. Like, Ilya's significantly stronger than the other professionals. Like, the other professionals are, you know, they're strong, but Ilya is sort of a class of his own at the moment. And to a big extent, I don't think it's necessarily that Ilya's a better Go player, but Ilya's a better competitor. Like, Ilya uses the psychological factor in games very, very effectively, and he puts a lot of pressure on his opponents in the like, in key games. Right? Ilya almost toys with the other players. In a way, yes. Like, the point is, Ilya almost enjoys really risky games, and he likes putting his life on the line. So, like, well, metaphorical life. Like, he likes putting the game on the line. And a lot of players wilt under that much pressure. Where Ilya doesn't. So I actually don't think, you know, like, if I look at pure understanding of Go, I think Artem understands Go better than Ilya. But Ilya's a better competitor. Like, you can see, like, for example, in that game that we were just looking at, right? I mean, look at the bravado that Ilya handled this game with. Just look at it. I mean, just look at it. I mean, how do you do this? Wait, let's turn off analyze mode. Oh, I guess I should just go to my review. Okay, there we are. So, just look at the bravado of this. Look at the nerve. You give your opponent a Ponuki and N7 next. You play here, and you're like, it's mine. I mean, Jesus. Like, that's almost painfully arrogant. But it works. Because he has, I think he has learned experience of what his opponents can handle and what they can't. So, anyway, let's start our review of this game. Let's see the, like, Ilya's loss, I suppose. And yeah, in any case, point being, like, back to my original point, according to my eye test, not just according to rating, and I think according to a lot of other people's eye test, Ilya's just quite, like, at the moment in a league of his own. And that doesn't mean that some people don't beat him sometimes. It does happen, but I'd say he scores well enough that, you know, you can just consider him. And he plays, you see his games, he plays better than the others at the moment. And there's still some really solid European professionals of the other guys. I'm not saying that the other guys are bad players, I'm saying Ilya's really something special in European terms at the moment. So, is it eye test? Oh, by the eye test, I mean eye as in, like, the thing you see with, right? Like, I watch the games, and I'm like, this player plays well. Like, I judge based on my mind what the players play like, right? And there are certain players where the eye test matches with the rating. And there are certain players where the eye test doesn't match with the rating. So, in my opinion, if you look at the eye test, there are some players that are overrated. And I'm not going to mention those players, because that would be undiplomatic and arrogant. Or something. But I can mention, for example, that Ilya's rating of, like, I think he's probably like 28-10 at this point. Like, he's the second highest rated player in Europe behind Kim Young-sam, I think. It's deserved. It's deserved. He's good. He's very good. So, and that's true for top Asian pros too. A win rate of 80% against your peers is super good, right? Yeah. In fast games, Ilya's even better. Yeah, because Ilya plays fast anyway. So, the slower the game, the worse Ilya does, for sure. He's just a fast player. That's the other thing. Ilya takes such risky decisions without deliberating on them beforehand. That's the other thing about Ilya. I have a similar thing concerning my own moves. I call it the Y test. Yeah, why do you play that way? Anyway, YOLO. Oh, hello there, Darth Mucus. Okay. He's got really good intuition. Yeah. But the special thing about Ilya's play isn't just that he has a good intuition for the board. He has a good intuition for the board as a function of how his a lot of people look at the board. I think he, to a certain extent, consciously looks at his opponent as well. Like, his decisions on the board are based on his opponent to a certain extent, and that's a really powerful tool if you use it correctly. Okay, so now I've set up how amazing Ilya is, right? I have, like, you know, I've been, like, lauding praise on him. He's the best player ever in Europe. He does great, etc., etc., etc. And he was so good that when he played Ali, wait, let's go and change the overlay. Wait, give me a second. I want to update the names. Oh. Is he better than his sister? Much better. His sister's like my rating, as far as I know. But I mean, I haven't played his sister, so I don't want to judge. I have seen a game of hers, and I've heard like opinions from people, and I think Ilya's certainly stronger. Also, it's hard to be better than Ilya when you have 2600 rating. So okay, I've set up the punchline. Ilya's the best player ever, etc., 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 etc. And this is a game from the quarterfinals of the Grand Prix Finale, and Ali Jabarin is white. This is the second game. Ilya won the first game, and I think what we can say here is that Ilya is so good at Go that people had to start copying his play. So perhaps you'll see what I mean. Jonas Veltike would be proud. Yeah. So, yeah, fun stuff, I guess. Yes, I do this myself too. When I play against weaker players and get behind, I just start some trouble, which I'm pretty sure they can't handle it, yeah. Otherwise, she would be the European champion a few times. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, Ilya's sister doesn't play much in European tournament. I just know that when she does, her rating isn't that high. And I know people who have played her, and I've seen a couple of her games. So I don't think she's probably that strong. But I mean, that happens. Like, I don't know how much Go she plays these days. I'm sure she was, like, if you don't practice, you get worse. So I don't know if she is such an active professional these days. Oh, Hanayo, thank you for following. I've seen some of your streams occasionally. Yeah, thanks for joining. Anyone check Kata who's ahead? Yeah, I don't know who's ahead here. This is just weird. I think she would have a... If she had a good chance of winning the European Championship. Oh, interesting. Black plays well, but so does white. Indeed, yeah. Ilya just gives up on good double ladder and plays Tengen. Yeah. I mean, this is the funny thing about Mirror. So, yeah, so it's cool, I guess. I think also, I was watching the game live, and I believe that Ilya had spent about 15 minutes on his clock by this point. Like, he just spent such a long time trying to figure out how to make a good ladder, and in the end, he still said, fuck it, I'll play Tengen. And yeah, that interesting. So, in my opinion, Ali's already better in that sense. No, okay, I have a story relating to Miracle. So, some of you, who, like, if you're really, really informed in, like, the, like, pit of top European Go, like, the pit, like, barely top European Go, you may have heard of Jonas Veltike. And he's a German player who, like, he's you know, he is occasionally doing well, and he, like, plays, he was a German champion a couple of times. He hit 2600 rating, and now he's, like, going back down to 2500. But anyway, he likes Mirago, like, really likes Mirago. Ilisaku, thank you for following, welcome. Yeah, who's the master of psychology now? So anyway, so Jonas is, you know, yeah, Jonas's games are certainly amusing. So if you think Ilya plays psychology, you should see Jonas's games. Like, Jonas's games are like the Go representation of a game of poker. You know? Yeah. Saw him beat Lucas by playing Mirror. Yeah, he's beat some good players. I mean, he's not easy to play. I'd say he's certainly quite a bit worse than like me, for example, right now. Because I don't think he, like, I think he was strong maybe like a couple of years ago, but recently I just don't think he plays that much in tournaments and isn't in that much of, like, good shape, I suppose. So he sort of dropped out. But for a while he was playing some, like, he was beating some pretty strong players. And, you know, playing really weird stuff. Like, he loved wacky openings. He'd play, like, Black Hole with Black. In lots of German tournaments he was trying starting with 1-2, but yeah. Yeah, what are Jonas's handles on servers? I want to see that. I don't think he... Yeah, I think he's the god of Go on KGS, but he doesn't play much, so don't expect to see many games. But yeah, he's a funny player. Also, like, Jonas basically has this, like... presumption in his head that he sees his ideas as like, I understand this. Like he has a very like, he's like very sure of himself. And that's why I mean that he plays psychology rather than Go, because to a certain extent he wins by intimidation. Who is Vel on KGS? Is that Tongi? I doubt. No. Welvang is Tongi, but Vel is someone else. Anyway, so the reason I mentioned this is that Jonas likes Mirror Go, and Jonas has been terrorizing European Go with Mirror Go for the past few years. And for the past 4 years, every time I play Jonas and I play Black, I play this move first. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't want to get mirrored. Because, like, mirror is not a bad strategy. Jeff called Jonas a terrorist. yeah, terrorist is a good name for him. Like, he terrorizes Go, and in a way, in my opinion, Jonas is actually healthy for the ecosystem, because Jonas is a fundamentally unsound player. Really unsound. But if you can't punish him, that means you don't understand Go as well as you think you do. So in my opinion, he's very, very, like, he's a very, like, healthy player for the ecosystem. If you start with Tengen, then the terrorist wins. I don't care. So in my opinion, it's more risky to go to, like, meet Jonas in Mirror Go, right? And have to deal with him knowing what to do. Like he's played most of the games where, like, most of the conventional ways to break mirror in terms of ladders. You should look up a mirror counter and save it for Jonas. I'm not aware of any mirror counters. Actually, I know someone. You guys know Stanislav Frelak, right? You may not know Vyacheslav Kaimin, who's like a strong 6-stun from Russia. And basically, Stanislav Frelak and Slava Kaimin, back in 2016 when we were all studying in China together, they figured out a way to break Miracle, like a way to destroy it. And they were like, they crafted it, they were like in their laboratory trying to clip Jonas. And then actually, Slava actually got white against Jonas, played the counter, and Jonas refuted it over the board and won. So, yeah, that was really funny to watch. Circot WKB, thank you for watching. I can give you a Galaxy Mirror Go game if you want to memorize it. Oh, I guess. Yeah, there has to be some textbook examples how to break Mirror Go, maybe. And chances that are that Jonas will be more familiar with it. Yeah, it's not even that Mirror Go, like, maybe you can get a slight edge playing Mirror Go. I'm just saying Jonas is used to those types of games. Like, basically, refuted it over the board. What I mean by that is that I forget the variation, but it was like, actually, I need to ask, like, it's such a funny game, I might ask one of them if they still have the SGF, because I can show it on stream. It was basically like, they started like, the counter to the Mirago was like, they started, like, 2 different ladders, and I don't mean 2 different ladders as in 2 different ladders, like, each player has a ladder. Like, one conventional way to break Mirago is that, like, you can play something like, so you can play something like this, and then you play this. Oh. And then what was the move order? Oh yeah, you play here. This is the one that people played the most in China against Jonas. He was playing Miracle all the time there, like every game basically. Not every, but most. So they'd play here, and then you'd run these 2 ladders. Basically, that was the idea. And yeah, anyway, and I think here Jonas would have to break it somehow. Like, I think he'd usually get Atari from here. And yeah, the game goes on. Anyway, so basically, I don't mean 2 ladders as in these 2 ladders. I mean that they started 2 different ladders for each player. Like, one that ran this way, one that ran this way, one that ran this way, and one that ran this way. And according to Stanislav's reading and Slava's reading, they had a way that for some reason, not only does white die, but white can't stop it. Like, white's just screwed. And it's so funny. I forget the game. Like, I don't remember it. They basically, they found it out of some Joseki variation where there's 2 potential ladders. And they thought that it's just unavoidable for white to die in that situation. And then Jonas, like, found some Tetsuji where he got 2 out of the 4 ladders, basically. And they missed that Tetsuji. So it's really weird. Really, really weird situation. And I have a photo of that game, but I don't have the SGF. So anyway, it's just a funny story. Anyway, Jonas probably played 2 moves out of order to avoid the destruction. Probably not. That's not what happened, but it could have been. What are the chances? Oh, yeah, I mentioned that already. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, back to the point about Miracle. Basically, I think that I can beat Jonas. Like, playing Tengen first move is a very small concession. So in my opinion, I can play Tengen first move and beat him anyway. And I'd rather do that than have to face his Miracle. So for the last 4 years, if I get black, I play Tengen first move. Oh wait, oops. Okay, so... Okay, let's get into this game. So... Ilya gives up. Okay, and actually the most important thing about all of this is that Ilya has burned 15 minutes on his clock. So for the first time, like, ever, Ilya will be in time trouble at the same time as his opponent. So okay. Tengen, and we have extension. Oh wait. Okay, here we stop. Wait, 50? 15! 15. Actually, this reminds me of another really funny situation. I occasionally played Miracle while I was in China because Jonas was my roommate, so I'm, like, influenced. And I played this kid, like, this, like, friendly, like, kid that, like, yeah, I mean, he was a nice guy. We kind of talked sometimes, to the, like, limited extent my Chinese allowed it. And basically, he knew I played Miracle, and I don't know if he, like, prepared this or he just spontaneously decided, but after he played Tengen, he kept mirroring me for, like, the rest of the game. Like, he never stopped, almost. Like, he stopped eventually. But he almost, like, when I attached to Tengen, like, on move 150 or something, I attached to Tengen, and he didn't play, like, play here, you know? But he took his sweet time to break mirror, and he lost. Of course he lost, because, like, mirroring after playing Tengen is a terrible idea. Terrible idea. So, yeah. Ilya should mirror him back now. Yeah, no. So, yeah, so mirrored for a couple of moves, but then Ilya played here. This is interesting. I would never give up this corner. Like, maybe not never, but not in this situation, certainly. Because Ilya's, like, sort of trying to put pressure. But now this whole group in itself doesn't have eyes. And I mean, it's a strong group. It's not a problem yet, but it's weird to give up this corner. I wouldn't do that. I would answer here. And here and whatever. And now white has to, like... I mean, white probably wouldn't do that. What would white do? Do you connect? No. So what do? Do you do this? And then white doesn't have a move? Like white Tanukis, basically? I don't know. I would like this for black, but okay, black does this to get a cutting point later. So he does have a lot of ideas on the outside, Ilya does, but I don't know. I still don't like the decision because the corner is, like, really big. I don't like giving corners. Okay, game goes on. Wow. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, but I'm rather sure that the AI move will be somewhere like here, because I've had this type of shape before, and extending like this as black isn't good, and I know because I tried it, and then I asked the computer, and the computer's like, no, white invades and you're losing everything. So what the computer would want to do in this kind of situation is protect here, and I kind of agree with it. Because the Hane isn't worth anything if white just lives inside later. But, okay. We Hane. It's not a terrible idea. And... wait. Okay. I'm actually wondering... Yeah, okay, but it's Ilya. Yeah, exactly. So, Ilya, my point is that I think Ilya has probably played this type of Joseki before. And he knows. He knows the computer doesn't like this. He knows. You know? Like, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so... interesting stuff. I don't know. It's okay. Here, this kind of turn is supposed to expand the lower side and also protect this group, which is like a little bit weak, so... oh, hello, Calcico. I'm doing good. What about yourself? Yeah, nice. So this turn is probably good, because otherwise, you know, white eventually is gonna get annoying here. And then black can probably live inside. I mean, this kind of group is always hard to kill. But maybe it's not that hard to kill, actually. Hello, Decross. Have you already reviewed your game against Lucan? I have not, nor will I in this session. I might do it tomorrow, but I'm not sure. So, okay. I kind of see that Ilya's, you know, this turn is a powerful move that you want to play anyway, and you want to help out the group. Okay, so we peep. This is, this, well, I mean, look at this group. Does this group look like part of a Moyo to you? No, that's the answer. I don't know. This shape. I mean, I guess black has to, but I would have played here, I think. Because this move actually helps me on the outside. So, and you know, this cut doesn't work yet, so what's the problem? I don't know. But okay, white defended. The cut's probably reasonable, and this. Yeah, and this is interesting because even with this move, black kind of keeps the lower side, but kind of doesn't. Like, okay, think of it this way. If this were really a Moyo, black would play here now. Like, this move is conceding that this is a fake Moyo, basically. Or like, not a fake Moyo, but this Moyo is not everything that it looks. And if I were white, I would even have considered playing on the lower side now. I mean, this is annoying. I'll be the first to admit that this is very annoying because white basically has to play here to live, and then you're cut in the center. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna play K3. I'm gonna play here because once we play here, black doesn't have a move. Like, you play here, I play here, and this stone is never dying, ever, for sure. This stone will live. So if black plays something like this, then, you know, this looks nice. But if you think about it a little bit more closely, black's stone efficiency isn't very high. Like, these two moves aren't really doing that much for the Moyo, considering that we've already played a stone here. So, you know, this is probably okay for white. Like, good for white, slightly. I mean, all of this is small details. The game isn't too bad for either player at the moment, I'm sure. It looks okay for both. Oh, Zizoran, thank you for following. So... okay, I don't agree with this on black's side, but it might be fine. Like, let's say, at this point, I'd rather let go of the left side rather than live, because when you live inside, you give your opponent strength on the outside. So, I'd rather actually play from here and fight on the top side. I'm not sure that white... will white even save the stone? Or will white give it up? I don't know. White probably gives the stone. So, I'd rather do that than save these stones. I think. I'm not sure, but I think. And you know, the reasoning is that black plays all these moves on the outside. It's not that worth it, I think. So, yeah, I mean, this is very sad in the end for black. And, you know, these stones really, really weaken Black's Moyo. So, whereas before, in my personal opinion, Black isn't doing too well, but, you know, maybe the game's fine. Maybe even the computer thinks that Black is fine. Now, either Black living on the left was bad, or something happened bad before that, because this looks pretty nice for White to get all the outside strength. So, that is cool, I think. And, I mean, maybe some aggressively minded players would be thinking, oh, White's group is like doesn't have two eyes, but that's a bit optimistic. Okay, so we attach. Okay, this looks interesting. Okay, let's go back. I'm a bit confused by this sequence. So, from Black's perspective, you really don't want to run out and play here and here. Oh, Dusty Baduk, you're back. Lolat sad moyo noises. Yeah, sad moyo noises was uttered by this move. Like, this. You say optimistic, I say fresh meat. Fresh meat? Oh, yeah, Siku, don't try to kill this. If you do this in, like, an NGD game, I will go after you for it. Black winning massively. I don't think Black's winning massively. I think this is... I mean, overall, I think this game is okay for both. But Black's Moyo isn't very impressive, and Black gave away a corner. You know I would. Yeah, maybe. So this is... I mean, don't kick the dead. I mean... I'm gonna say that... I probably don't like something that Black has done. But Black plays one move to get Mega Moyo. I disagree with the term Mega Moyo here. Mega Moyo is very, very, very relative. I mean, I don't know how mega this Moyo will be when White plays here and makes life. Because White can play here and make life. I'm rather sure of it. So, yeah, or at least it's very hard to kill this stone. Very hard. So, but then Black plays there, surely. I mean, okay, I want to say the game isn't bad for Black, because... Oh, whoops. So, I want to say the game is for sure not bad for Black, because... To be honest, for example, C9 is a good move. C9 is a good move that puts pressure on White's shape, and even though I wouldn't do this, like, I wouldn't give White the corner away, it is true that it puts a lot of pressure on White's shape, and eventually White was forced to come back and add a dame move. So even though I wouldn't have done this for Ilya, upon review I think it's fine. And the first point in the game where I really don't know if what Ilya did was good, or like if it's good, it's really questionable if it actually helps, or like if the position was bad before. This life for Black is really, really mediocre. Like, it's just weird, you know? You're not getting much. So, I would say that this is maybe a good point to say that the game isn't so good for Black, because White's strength here works against Black's Moyo really well. And White pulls out this stone, it's really hard for Black to establish this group. You don't want to push out this way because White's just developing his territory on the top side. So, okay, Black lives in the corner. If Black lives in the corner, that means that next we're going to be able to reduce with K16 or something, which is okay. So, let's see. We kind of live. Yeah, we kind of live, because White's not going to go and add another move here on the first line to try to kill you. Or maybe White could, because, you know, when Black runs out, this is, like, somewhat pleasant for White to get pushed this way. It is a nice direction of play for White, but White can do this later. So, okay. 011. Add a move? No. I mean, it's Sente. I guess it's Sente-ish. So okay, White's logic is this, 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 and then Black's gonna cut off the stones. So okay, we avoid that by playing here, which is sort of Sente because we're gonna cut here next. I guess that makes sense, okay. And then we Tanuki. Okay, G14 is... I'm actually not sure I'd play g14. Because b19 is not a big move on points, but it forces black to run the way we want him to run. So black is going to be forced to like do this, this, and this. And white probably has to add another move on the top. Probably. I don't trust my ability to kill black inside this area. Thoughts on OGS rank change? I don't have many, to be honest. I feel neutral, I suppose. Actually, what does chat think? Can black live in here? Fantastic. Yeah, Sandman's 9 done now, by the way. So maybe that has something to do with it. They needed to do it, it was bugs in the last algorithm. Oh, I see. Inside White's Moyo, I would never dream of living there. Ah. Okay. So let's play... Do we play here first? I think this might be a good starting move. So what do you do here? Well, I guess there are some cuts. There's some cuts, yeah. I'm gonna play 018 next, probably. Maybe not next, but soon. I gained 1 rank, saw some mid-dans who dropped 3 ranks. Not sure how trustworthy ranks are on OGS since those ranks were based on hundreds of games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I also gained 1 rank. But it's weird. I don't know what, like, bug causes some people to lose 3 ranks when corrected and causes some people to gain ranks. Who knows? So, I mean, what does white do here? We need to give it a while to make them stabilize. Maybe. I jumped from 4 done to 9 done without ever playing. Sounds like a non-bugged algorithm, right? Kappa. Absolute kappa. So, I mean, what does white do here? This is annoying. Do we connect? And then black plays here next. Working as intended. Yeah. I mean, seriously, these are annoying. These peeps for black are annoying. Jumped from 5Q to 1Q so close. I went from 5 done to 3 done to 1 done to 3 done without playing, I see. I see. Wow. Oh, okay, Dusty Baduk is nearly Shodan now. Like, your dream is almost complete, you know? You're so close. You know, it's one more algorithm rework, and you'll finally be a Shodan. Great. So, yeah, anyway. So... back to the point. I might here add another move for white. So I might play this move, for example, and hope that's enough. Hope that's enough. And I think it probably should be enough. I don't know, the cuts are annoying. I might regret this later, but okay, I'll pretend that black can't live up there. And then black basically has to... I guess black can Tanuki and pretend that there's nothing, like, that you can't review. That you can't, like, kill black because this can happen. So black already has sort of ice space, so it's okay. And black can Tanuki and play here. But if we just look at this board, for example, white's Moyo is basically bigger than black's Moyo. White has, or actually, I guess they're similarly sized, but white has more points on the right side than black has on the left, and white has Komi. So white's just winning this. Like, if we assume everyone lives everywhere, white's just winning. Clearly, here. So, you know, that sounds good for white. And I think b19 would have been a good move here. Because basically, when white plays here and black lives at b19, this side is definitely open. Definitely. Whereas, like this, there's a chance that, like in my variation, there's a chance that white swallows the top side big. And then, you know, white's definitely better. So, you know, I think what white did here was probably not good. I bet if I get another NGD review from you next month, I can make it to 1 done. Oh, why thank you. Though that sounds a tad unrealistic. But it considers opponents, I think, but at least they fixed the bug. There was both bug correction and a reharmonization of ranks to be closer to official ranks. Yeah, I mean, I got reharmonized to 6 done, so I think I went from 2 down to 4 down on OGS from the change. So I guess that's good or something. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, complimenting in chat. That's also good. Yeah, so complimenting is not what I'm gonna do to G14, but okay. G14 was played. So you see, Ali had the same thought process as me, except he trusted more in the ability of Black to not live here. And we invade. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, correct? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. I think this is much safer, comparatively. And this is, to be fair, I don't think this is necessarily working. I don't think that this is necessarily working for white. So like I said, K12 is pretending that black can't live. I mean, can you kill this? Probably not. Happy invasion sounds, yeah, correct. But actually, here's a question. What if white plays it this way? What if we don't leave weaknesses in our chat like noobs? Like, we just play H15, and like, you know, black, let's filler random Tanuki for black. Now we can sort of torture the black group because it's not alive yet. So black is sort of compelled to run more and do this. And basically black's solidifying our territory. You know, black might play this way, but now we play here and now we don't have that extra cutting point. Like, that extra cutting point is not there anymore. So white has much higher chances of killing black now than before. Your enthusiasm for the game is incredible. Oh, I don't know if that's directed at me or other people who are enthusiastic, but yeah, thank you. I try to be. I mean, I don't need to try to be. It goes fun. It goes a lot of fun. So, yeah. I think the right way to go about this for white is to not galvanize, but basically force black to run out, and then use black's running out to build the top side in a safer way. What Ali did here, I think, is greedy. Like, this move is so greedy. You have to, like, at this point, white should play here or something. This would be the correct move. And here, I think white may be better. I think white is probably better here. Because even black plays here, white plays here. I'd need to count to make sure, but my snap judgment is that white's better here. Still. It's okay. But white got greedy. Yes, at you don't try to be, it's natural. Yeah, it goes fun. So, yeah, it's a fun, I don't know. What can I say? So K12 is really greedy. I don't know if Ali, like, expected to kill black here, but it's not happening. I think it's not anyway. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. So I completely photosynthesize with you. That's romantic. Or something. Okay, so let's watch Ilya live in here. Yeah. Oh. Ali was still channeling Jonas. Yeah, so, yeah, actually, Ali is still channeling Jonas. Yeah, for your, like, Jonas basically plays poker. So Jonas plays here, and he's like, I'm all mine. All mine, baby. You can't live in there. So, you know, I mean, this is actually not Ali's way, usually. So Ali's way is really not to just try and... Ali's way is more like this move. Where, like, you make some compromise between... Ali would make some compromise between his undying greed for territory, right? But, like, also be safe, right? So, yeah. Playing backgammon now, that doesn't sound very photosynthetic. Whatever. So, is this actually a KO? Because here we see black going for a KO. Is KO really correct here? I don't know. Isn't there better for black? I'd expect there to be better. I mean, the obvious move to try and make some kind of KO is this, but then this, like, white does all the, like, crudest, like, ugliest killing moves. And probably black's dead here. Probably. It's okay. So is this really KO? I don't want to believe it. Like, black should live in here. I think black should live in here. What if we play this move? Is this move a thing? So white's not going to capture here because we're going to allow this move. So white's going to play here anyway. And now can we pull out the stone? Like, can we fight this, I mean? That's the question. Because, wow, this is complicated. I mean, like, I'm imagining something like this, and like, if you pull out, then this, and you're probably in trouble. But okay, let me put it this way. What I'm trying to do for black is play this move in Sente. Because if we play this move, we live, right? Like, in Sente. Like, white plays here, we play here, we're alive. So, but it's such a sad life. You have to play here now. And then you need to go for therapy for how badly you're crying. But actually, you're not crying that badly. Actually. You're not... That's okay, because you have the connection still. So, what if we do something like this? Like, okay, unlikely. So, it's unlikely that we succeed in actually, like, fighting. But what if we can get K18 in Sente? That's what I'm looking for here. I don't know if it's, like, too much of a, like, fantasy, I guess, but it looks fun, at least. I don't know. Also looks like the kind of thing Ilya would enjoy. I don't know. Putting everyone's life on the line. So, I don't know. I think this is doable, actually, because if white does something like this to break off, then we're preparing ideas of trying to get out with J13. And white's own group isn't that strong. So I think we can actually do something here. That's my impression. I don't know. I might check this with the computer later. Vanish the G16 exchange and it might become true. G16. The G16... Oh, I see. This exchange hurts black because, like, if say that the exchange weren't there, then this type of cut is much more viable. So, like, you know, white's plan would be to play here, 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 but now you would be able to connect back. So what if black starts with this move? And then now we play here, and now we play here, but this is probably dying anyway. I think here black is dying, and the difference is that white's locally alive on the top, and also white's basically connected here. Black can't really get out. So it looks like probably black's in trouble. So I don't know about this. But, and if we're trying to play G18, then the G16 exchange is actually favorable. So I think this is actually... This is really interesting. I don't know. I think Ilya could have tried for something more. So, okay, we go for a KO, which is probably okay for black. And let's see how it turns out. Okay. So, in the end, we win the KO in exchange for S4, basically. And that looks really nice for white, compared to what could happen out of a KO. Is S4 really black's only threat here? Or only good threat? Maybe. Maybe it is. What do I know? Because you don't really want to make threats. I mean, you can make something like this threat, I guess, but you don't have that many left, and you know, white can threaten to kill the left side. So eventually, I guess you do have to play s4 as a threat. But you know what? s4 might be enough, right? Like s4, getting s4 is a big deal. So now I guess we need to count. Okay, so let's go back here and count. What if black just plays this move, which is like the easiest move that just tries to keep everything? And now, incidentally, one of the reasons s4 is really important is that it's much harder to live on the side now. And one of the reasons that that's the case is that I'll give an example sort of from one of my recent games. This kind of move is annoying because if you play from the top, then like this move exists. Like imagine that this weren't here. This move exists. And what this move is doing is that if you play from the top, like white's eventually gonna do this to you on the side and connect back with the stone. So there's this kind of idea. So you're like white's at least going to get to reduce. So this is like the idea. So, you know, you're gonna at least get something like this, is my point. So white would get extra profit from the invasion, even if he dies. So s4 is kind of important because it reduces the yaji in that department, and then we're gonna play j7, and hopefully black can hold it. So okay, assuming black can hold it, how's the game going? I'm counting. About 77 for white. I count about 82 for black. It's white's turn. So that score isn't objective. So I think white's actually, like, you know, I count white has less, but in order to keep all the center points I just counted for black, it looks more like this, and more like this, and more like this, and then suddenly white has a corridor, like some extra corridor of center points. So white's only slightly behind, and maybe white can make the points back. So I think I can tell why Ilya pushed for more here. So he pushed here. But I'm gonna count again just to make sure, but I think this position would at least be unclear. This position looks interesting. Yeah, I counted more for white the second way around. White's just better here. Yeah, white's better. White only has to make a couple of extra points in the center to do well here. Okay, white's good. Okay, Ilya pushes for more, and yeah. How did the game get this bad for black? Because I mean, black's compensation for the KO wasn't very big. But I thought maybe that would be enough, except it isn't. So I think black messed up beforehand, I think. Oh, but now... Oh. Okay. So what happened here is that black pushed into white's potential area, so white could have made some points there in the future. So black made sure that that can't happen. In return, white got the M10 cut later in the game, and also maybe some extra reduction moves around L8. So basically, I don't think black's making any inroads. I think white's just better. So, Hmm? What? Can someone explain this to me? So, why doesn't white play here? Because it's alive, right? You just do this, right? You're winning. Like, black can't connect, right? Or something. Like, you have two eyes. And this move is crucial because you're gonna get to play f1 next. So, you know, f1 is like massive endgame. Oh my god. Ah, okay. This move, okay. This move is actually Sente. Never mind. I'm dumb. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So basically, black's gonna play here, and now you can't Atari because Damezumari. So okay, I'm dumb. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you play a2 or not. Basically, like you could start with this move, or you could play a2 directly. You're gonna have to play either one. So okay. So did Ilya just lose on points? I think he tried something or not. I'm just scrolling to the end of the game because, like I said, white should be better. And okay, black tried something in the center, and he reduced white's potential, but white got something in return in the center, like pretty big, so... Oh, what? Oh, well, this is slightly BM on the side of... It might or might not be 1 point difference. Wait, is it that close? No. I need to count again then. I didn't count again because I thought white should be significantly better here. So black has about 87. Wow, it actually is very close. Wow. Wait, how did this happen? Ilya knew he had to risk a -1 point cut threat or he will lose by half. Wow, that's dramatic. Wow. Wow. So, going back to here, I think Ilya obviously concluded that J1, not J1, like J7 isn't enough. Because white will just play some center moves and then eventually capitalize on enough points in the center to win by a little bit. So I figured that this sequence that was played in the game would be good enough for white that if he was leading before, he would be leading afterwards as well, which is why I didn't count again. I just thought that I thought that white should be ahead on more points. But actually, if we think about it a little bit more, black did get to make white live at a2 and cover his extra point. White didn't get these 4 stones. White got half of these 4 stones. Well, yeah, I mean, he got the J11 stone, but he needs to add another move to fully capture. And black got Sente to play S15. So maybe white actually didn't necessarily gain here, or maybe the game was closer than I thought it was here. Like, here, my judgment is that if black plays here, white will definitely win, just not by much. That's my judgment. So maybe actually this doesn't change the paradigm much, or like the point score much. So apparently it was half point game. Wow, that's cool. So where did the mistakes happen? I still think that I think, okay, this is my opinion. Ali was better. Maybe not as good as I thought he was. But I think Ali was better if he plays a little bit more conservatively here. But, and you know, that's due to... I'm not quite sure what is it due to directly. I think it may be I think it may just be how black lived on the left side, because it gave white so much influence that limits black's influence really badly. So I think maybe the way black lives on the left side wasn't very helpful. I remember someone said that it was dead even at 210. Okay, I see. Well, my point anyway is that I think here white greeded way too hard. Like K12 is so greedy. And black got a KO. I think I was toying with the idea of claiming that black could get even more, and I'm not sure if that's correct. I would have gone for more. Like here I would have tried G18 or something like that. I think I would have. So maybe black could have gone for more, but instead black went for a KO, which immediately invalidates K12 as a move. Like K12 should have been safer if black gets a KO here. And in the end, black got, you know, decent compensation in the form of S4. S4 is a really big move, like out of the moves that are left on the board. But even then, Ilya probably didn't think he was winning if he plays the obvious safe move, so he went for something a little bit more pushing. And we got into this crazy variation where probably the score didn't shift too much. Like, the game was close all along, which is interesting. Wow. So, yeah. Cool game. Okay, so let's go back to the end and witness what's going on. So, if Ali chickened out, we would have lost. He would have lost, I guess. Wow, if Ali had chickened out, he would have lost. So this KO that is worth... Like, the KO is worth the value of the KO, right? But also worth A8. Because if white wins the KO, then later white would be able to kill black. So it's a big KO, relatively speaking. Given that we're already in 0-point endgame, this KO is really big. So Ali didn't chicken out. And then... Wow. That's spectacular. Not in, like, quality, necessarily. I mean, maybe in quality as well. I haven't analyzed it yet. But that's, like, a spectacular way to finish the game. Wow, that's really fun. That's really fun. Also, it's so clutch. Like, being down 0-1 in a game and doing that, that's really cool. Ali won, yeah. He actually won here. So, it bothers me that Shikshin, like, well, Ilya didn't want to count at least. Well, why not? Yeah, I think, for example, today, earlier today, I was playing a game versus Lukas Podpera, 7-dan. And at the very end, I mean, already for quite a while, I thought I'd lose by half a point. So I was pretty sure I'd lose by half a point. Like, I would have, you know, bet a significant amount of money on that I'm losing that game by half a point. And I was like, I didn't, like, I thought, like, I didn't really think of, like, I didn't really think of resigning, but the point is, I'm so sure that I wouldn't feel bad about resigning. So, yeah, I mean, and I did lose by half a point, but, you know, sometimes you miscount. So you know, of course, when it's half a point, you count. Probably keep in mind that, you know, if the game was close beforehand, but here, white won a KO, where he wins 2 points, and black's threat was -1 point, then you're surely losing. Like, black's threat was worth -1 point. So from that perspective, you lost a lot of value. So, yeah. He didn't need to count it out. Yeah, I guess not. But wow, what a fun game. That's cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go back and try to analyze a bit more concretely. I want to analyze this game a bit more concretely to try and figure out where Ilya went wrong, because we've agreed that on the top side, Ali greeded really badly for points and ended up paying with a KO being made on the top side. So that was good for black. But where did Ilya go wrong before that? So, like I said, I think that what Ilya did here of giving away the corner was suspicious. And the reason it's suspicious is that these stones are really weakened by that. And we can see that all throughout this game in subtle ways. So for example, here, you don't play here to expand your moyo, except you do because this group isn't that strong. It's part of a moyo, but it isn't that strong, so you play J3 to protect it. And, you know, you did take white's, like, left side. You did force white to play C5. So I don't think black is necessarily... probably black isn't doing badly here. Like, maybe it's just me being jealous of corners. Because, you know, black wastes... You know, black had to play passively with J3. White had to play very passively with C5. Black did give away a corner, though. I like corners. So I don't want to call it a mistake. Not a bad mistake, anyway. And in human terms, P8 is probably okay as well. I think it was this game Ilya let his OGS clock get down to 1 second. Wow. Yeah, you never see that with Ilya. Ilya always, or not always, but most of the time Ilya has time on his clock. So that's interesting. Yeah, and one of the reasons that it happened is that he spent so long trying to figure out how to break the mirror, I suppose. Okay. This turn looks a little bit slow, or more than that it looks slow, because it's a normal move here. Like, people often turn in this type of situation. It makes this move look really bad. Like, it makes K10 look super suspicious. So, maybe black can find a slightly more efficient move here. Maybe black can defend the lower side immediately, and then try to live on the right side. But that looks risky. That does look risky, okay. Okay, what about here, though? So white jumped here, here, and here. And here is when black, like, you know, black decided to live, but let's think about all the things that black gave over while making life, okay? So, let's go here, 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 here. Basically, this move, this move, this move, this move, this move, all of these guys, all of these are afforded by black living on the side with 4 points. So black lived with 4 points and gave white all of these moves and sente. And we can see the repercussions of white having this wall throughout the entire game afterwards, because we can see that white plays here, and instead of running out or something, black like just scurries into the corner for life. And later in the game, when white was able to use G14 to force black to play B19. Now, in my opinion, it might have even been better to use B19 to force black to play G14, and then that way we make points on the top side in the safest way possible, leaving the fewest cuts possible and the fewest space possible. So, you know, maybe I wouldn't have done the same thing as Ali. But this is reasonable as well, so long as Ali defends a little bit more conservatively. And here we can see how many small moves black was forced to play as a result of living on the left side. So upon review, I think that maybe black's decision in the game to make life just isn't good. Like, or maybe not his decision to make life, but the way that he chose to make life was really strange. So maybe a different move is in order here for black after this pincer. I don't know. I think Ilya, to a certain extent, this is my guess, had a certain psychological attachment to his stones on the left side. Because remember that black gave up a corner in order to get these stones, and thus pressure white's group. Now, the pressure on that white group is gone, because remember, white just played c5. c5 is a slow move, which is kind of necessary. But the whole point of c5 is that black's pressure on this group is gone. So in my mind, according to that way of thinking, black should be treating these stones on the left side as light, not as heavy. So if we go to this point, I'm almost sure that the correct thing for black to do is play here. Like, I don't think that living these stones is worth it. I mean, if white wants to kill them later, I mean, I mean, okay, this is interesting because this fight, I don't really know what's going on. Giving the Ponuki is really painful for white, but I guess you can do it. And then, black can choose to live any time. It's not, white playing here is big, but not that big. So you can definitely get away with at least playing f16. At least get f16 in. If white gives you a Ponuki, then it's amazing, right? You've limited white's entire topside. And now you can think of living because your group on the top side has already escaped. It has ice space because it's got a Ponuki. So maybe now you can think of living if you want to. I mean, I'm not even sure I'd live. I might play here because I'm like, oh, white may take another move to kill me. But living has such a big price, such a consequence. Like, the consequence is that I'm giving white an iron wall here that's really going to limit my Moyo later. So there's a good argument to be made that black just should ignore this and let white spend a move to kill it. So, and f16 is just a really valuable move. If you get to fight this way, white's almost dying in the corner. Like, if white pulls out the stone, how does white even handle this? I don't know. You need to, like, play like this, I think, or something, and let black live. And then, black can run out now, because black isn't committing to giving white a wall everywhere, right? So black can just run out. And this left side is smaller than white's top side in the game. Right? Like, later we're gonna, like, even be able to play here, at least, and reduce. So, there's, like, this move, and if white does this, I mean, this is definitely alive. So, the point is white has to make some concessions for the group. We can even think of stuff like this, where black starts a KO, and is gonna play this next. If white chooses not to play the KO, we can even connect on the first line next. So there's lots of Aji black can use. The stones are hardly dead. White has to spend another move to kill them, and black gets so much profit on the top side comparatively. I'm gonna call this a really bad decision on Ilya's part, to live the way that he did. Yeah, I don't think it's a good decision, because we can see how much black suffered in the game when he decided to take it upon himself to live with the stones. And, if Ali hadn't given him a chance to play a KO on the top side, I think Ali would have been significantly better at this point in the game. So, if black plays here now to try to keep the center, just probably playing here is okay for white. So, I don't know. I'm gonna say interesting game. I mean, it's an interesting game with a fantastic finish. So, I don't know. I'm glad we reviewed it. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm kind of tired to do another game, probably. So I might end the stream here. I intended to make the stream a little bit longer, like 4 hours at least. But I'm also tired, so I don't know if I'll do another one. I guess I won't. Yeah, those were two really fun games. So in one, Ilya destroyed Artem in reading on the lower side. Like in this game, like, oh my, this game was so fun for a lot of different ways, because this game displayed the psychology behind how Ilya plays, in my opinion. In a lot of ways, it displays how Ilya thinks, with moves like F13 that are amazing. This was fun. Yeah, thanks. Glad you enjoyed it, Dusty Baduk. Yeah. And this game was really interesting from an invasion perspective, so not Sumego time. Well, I mean, in a way, we're doing Sumego on the top side for sure. So, like, this stuff on the top side was really, really fun. Like, I still wonder, I'm gonna ask the computer later, like, probably as soon as I finish this stream, first thing I'm gonna do is go to the computer and ask it, yo, what do you think about black trying to fight for more here? So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting ideas there as well. And, yeah, these were two really interesting games. I mean, Ilya's style of play always guarantees entertainment. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, thank you for watching, Father Ramas. Thank you to everyone else who watched, of course. And, let me go ahead and find someone to raid. Is there anyone to raid right now? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Wait, how do I raid? I don't have my usual setup. Lion Guy or Zichen Mike. I'd probably do, given those two choices, I might do Zichen Mike, because he usually does more similar content to me. Yeah, okay. Raid. Raid. Probably, yeah, I guess just raid Z Chen Mike. I don't have my usual setup, so raiding is harder than usual. Wait. Raid Z. Wow. Z Chen Mike has a lovely stream title. Fox 9 Dan play or easy mode 8 Dan. Wow. That's solid. Oh wow, thank you for the follow. Wait. Agent 509, thank you for the follow to end the stream with. So let's raid Z Chen Mike then. So thank you to everyone who watched, and I hope you enjoy Z Chen Mike's stream. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, actually, at 8 p.m. European time. So yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, or afternoon or something.